years of experience across banking, fintech, consulting, outsourcing, and corporate business development. He currently leads business development at Avertium, and he's the co-founder of Basipil Technology. He has extensive experience in business development and sales, leadership, client management, team development, and performance management. He's passionate about empowering professionals and supporting Pan African businesses to grow, scale, and succeed by providing practical business insight, strategic guidance, and access to opportunity. Please let's make welcome Mr. Olushola. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much. Let's keep welcoming Mr. Olushola. Please, our host, you can help us unmute Mr. Olushola. Hi, Mr. Olushola. You're welcome. You're welcome. Please, let's continue. Let the emojis keep flying. Let the emojis keep flying. Let's continue flying the emojis as we welcome Mr. Olushola. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'm sure you should be able to unmute your mic, sir. Please confirm.
Okay, I think, can you hear me now? Good morning, everyone. Okay,
Good
yeah, so I was
morning,
unable to
sir. We
mute.
can hear you.
Yeah, I was unable to mute. Yeah. Okay, yeah, it's good to be here. I love the energy in the room. Yeah, I love the energy in the room. Thank you so much, Blessing, for having me, and thank you everyone for that warm welcome. Yeah, so my name is Oshala once again, and basically I'm going to dive into why we are here. What do we expect to to happen that day during the job fair? What are your expectations? So let me just go around the room and Jumoke, what do you think is going to happen that day? What's your expectation for that day? I'm going to call randomly just to be sure that people are with me. Jumoke, okay, so can we type in the chat if you're unable to speak? So just let me just read from the chat box. What is your expectation for that day? I think we can all chat. So let me look at the chat. I want to see what is your expectation for that day. I just want to confirm you can all hear me. What is your expectation for that day? The job fair day. What are your expectations? Just type it in the chat. Yeah, Meshach said, I'm getting a well paid job that day and a great mentor too. Yeah, thank you. Edori said, a job opportunity. Yeah, good. Goodness said, to be exposed to various opportunities, meet like minded people, and meet with recruiters. Wow, great. Gift said, everything good. Everything good. Yes. Yeah, to get life changing opportunity, something to help me grow and be better. Noab said, getting a great job with career advancement. God, awesome. Noella, I expect a session with employers and employees. Great. Jumoke, my expectation for that day is to get a well paying job that tallies with my career goals as well as meet my meet like-minded people. Wonderful. Yeah, Miriam said, I would like to meet with mentors and great people to get connected with. Oh, I'm looking to be interviewed and hired by an organization by Adeoluwa. Great, 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 great. Yeah, so Lulu to learn and get a job or offer exposure to new opportunities and meeting great minded people. Awesome. You guys are not far fetched from what is going to happen that day and what is happening that day. Can you still hear me?
Okay, now we can hear you, but we lost you for a bit.
Oh, okay, okay. Okay, so it's a room that you want to be. It's an opportunity that don't you don't want to miss. Yeah, and trust me, the employers are ready, and my question now is, are you ready? The organizers are ready, the employers are ready, but the question now is, you, the prospective employees or professionals that are here, are you ready? Because the organizers are ready. We are putting a lot of things in place to make sure that yes, employers are on ground and all. The employers are also ready, bringing their strong recruiters to come and identify top candidates and all. So my next question will now be: are you ready? Are you ready? You've said you want to meet with, you want to get a better paying job. You want to meet with other like-minded people. You want to network with other persons. You want to get the dream job that you have been looking forward to. You want to meet a great mentor. But now, based on all this expectation, are you ready? Are you ready? Yeah, that is the next question that you want to answer. Am I ready for this day? Am I ready for this day? So that is what we'll just be going through in the next couple of 10 to 15 minutes to just answer this great question. Am I ready for the opportunities that are available for that day? Am I ready to meet with the recruiters that day? Am I truly ready? Yeah, so let me just present my screen and we dive straight into the session. Help confirm you can see my screen. Blessing, help confirm you can see my screen.
Yes, we can, sir.
All right, thank you. Yeah, so good morning. What to expect on that day? Beyond, let me start by saying this, that a lot of job seekers or a lot of people prospecting to change change jobs really make mistake of oh, the job fair is just for me to come and drop my CVs and just move on. It's beyond that. It's basically coming to really build relationships. Yeah, trust me, you'll be meeting with fellow prospective candidates that are even the ones that will give you the next opportunity. They are the ones that will tell you about the next job opening that you are going to land. They're the one that will refer you to other corporate organizations that is going to hire you. And trust me, you want to build a relationship with some recruiters now that um, even though you are not at the level you want to be today, but trust me, the connection you're going to meet, the em- employers that you're going to meet with today are the ones that will give you the opportunity to get that right job, and you want to be well positioned. So beyond just coming to get interviewed, getting the opportunity, you really want to build a relationship and connect further with them, because trust me, we are all a product of the relationships that we have built over the years. Yeah. So in reality, the job fair is basically a high networking environment, and it's an environment where you will be meeting with hiring managers face to face, to basically communicate the unique value proposition that you have. Is basically a place where you'll be selling yourself. Yeah, so if you'll be selling yourself, you'll be communicate the right values that you have to these prospective employers. You need to be really, really prepared, be prepared. And it's a place where you will be unlocking some career doors, and that will take you to the next level, and it's going to take you beyond you the gap has been shortened for you with this job fair, because you're not applying online, you are meeting with the employers directly. So the recruitment process has been shortened through this job fair. You are meeting directly with the recruiters, and basically they just want to get to know you, meet with you, and if you are the right fit for their organization, boom, you land a job. Yeah, so as you can see on my screen, there are just three simple pillars and goals that says you need to be prepared, you need to be professional, and you need to be memorable. Yeah, so you want to be prepared, you want to have your CVs well written out, well tailored. You have the digital copy, you have the physical copy, and personally, you are also well prepared to network and meet with various persons. So in terms of that's what I'm asking, that are you really prepared? And also you need to be professional in all your engagements and dealings, because trust me, the people you are going to meet in that room, the fellow candidates, the mentors, the recruiters that you'll be meeting in that room, the way you relate with them is going to go a long way on how they will remember you when they leave that room. Oh, some will say, oh, after the just there is this one guy that I just keep seeing. There's this just one guy. So everybody just keep referring to a guy. There's this just one guy. There's this one lady. So what makes that lady unique? What makes that lady or that guy unique? That every recruiter is remembering that, oh, there's this guy I met. There's this lady I met. That means what? The person was memorable. The person made a left a lasting and a memorable experience with the recruiters, and you want to be this person. You want to be this person that is going to leave a lasting impression and a memorable one, with a good memorable one, not a bad one. Yeah, so a good memorable experience with the recruiters, and also with fellow candidates that you'll be seeing and meeting during this job fair. So it is important that we are well prepared. Yeah, so basically the journey for that day is pretty straightforward. You are prepared enough, you have your CVs well written out, you have the physical copy, probably 10 to 5 to 10 copies. You have the digital one that you can easily share via your WhatsApp and all. And you want to have data on your phone, because sometimes you just want to come that day and you are saying, I don't have data on my phone. You want to start asking your prospective employers to share you hotspots on that day, meaning you're not ready, you're not prepared, because they will be seeing a lot of people. So they don't want to now say, oh, you're sending me an email. Yes, I'm asking you to send your CV to my email, and you're not telling me, help me with hotspots. You're not ready, because I need to see over 50 or 100 persons that day, and I'm not going to be wasting my time to start sharing you data, hotspots, and all of them. So you need to be prepared. That's why, as little as data on your phone, it's important. It's really, really important. And very much on that day, you'll be engaging with the prospective employers. And also beyond engagement, you need to be present, meaning don't just be present physically. Let your mind and soul and body, everything be present in that event. If you are babysitting a baby, you want to either come with a support person that can help you take care of your baby that day, or you leave your baby at home, because truth be told, you don't want to be distracted. If you are there with your friends that day, you want to sit, because you've been around your friends for the past 5 years, 6 years. You want to sit somewhere else, you want to interact with other people, so you really want to be present in that event. And trust me, like I said, you have your CVs with you, you'll be handing them over, you will be getting interviewed. So you want to really be at your best on this day, and then definitely afterwards you want to
Please confirm you
follow
can
up.
hear him.
Oh, please confirm you can hear me.
Yes, I can.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah. So you really want to also at the end of the day get a follow-up contact that you can follow up after your interview to know what the next stage will be, because that's just the basic process of what you'll be expecting that day. And trust me, have an open mindset, make eye contact, be confident as you come into that room. Like I said, it's simple and short. Be prepared, be professional, and be memorable. You don't want to forget these three pillars or these three goals for that day. Be prepared, be professional, and be memorable. Yeah. So next, let's now dive into how, when I mean being prepared, I think I've really given a summary of all what my slide is all about. So I will just be moving fast now into as I run through the slide. So when I say come prepared, your CVs are updated. You want to have multiple copies with you. Other academic credentials that might be other certifications that you might have to support your resume. You want to have them handy, either in a folder, either digitally with you. You want to really be prepared. And if you're a professional, you want to come with, depending on your role, you want to come with portfolios, work samples of projects that you have done. If you're a social media person, you want to come with your portfolio, graphic design marketer, you want to really come with tangible evidence of your skills. Yeah, for skills that can be physically narrated. Yeah, so you want to come with that. You want to have a physical portfolio. Yes, apart from your CV, your CV should be in a PDF format. Clean PDF version of your CV must be saved on your phone. And trust me, like I said, you want to have data. You don't want to be around and send your CV to my email or my WhatsApp, and you're not saying, I don't have data, my network is this, my network is bad. You want to really have that. Your email should be in sync, should be properly synchronized on your mobile device or on your laptop that day. So you don't want to say, oh, let me go and I will send it to you when I get home. You want to do that on the spot while we are there. Yeah, because it's important the person gets it on the spot. So these are the things that, like I said, portfolio work samples. So I've really mentioned all of that. Digital copies, keep organized PDF versions accessible on your phone. Yeah. So there's a line here that says, "Oh, don't come to the job fair open to figure it out when you arrive." You don't want to come there to come and figure it out. You want to come ready to engage instantly. It is very, very important. So drop in the comments if you already have digital copies of your CVs ready on your phone, and or just drop it in the session. Let me look at that. If you're still with me on this session, please just drop an emoji for me. Let me be sure you guys are still with me. Let me see the emojis. Let me see the emojis. Let me see the emojis. I want to be sure that you all are still with me. Okay, great. Awesome, 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 awesome. So let's continue. Yeah, good to know that you are still with me. Yeah, so beyond having your CV ready, beyond all of this, you want to look the part. You want to look the part. You want to, if you're an accountant, you want to look the path of an accountant. If you're a graphic designer, you want to look the part. If you are hoping to work in the bank, you want to look the path. If you are so you don't want to come unclean, tattered, and all. You want to dress professionally. You don't want to come that day with your crazy jean, with your collar flying and all of those. We are not coming to party. We are not coming to have an hangout. We are coming to what? We are coming to get interviewed. So you need to be properly dressed because you are coming to be interviewed. Yes, so you need to look the part. You need to your visual presence is very, very, very important because it's going to communicate a lot of things to the recruiter. It's going to communicate a lot of things. And trust me, if you're not properly dressed, it already affects your confidence level. It already affects how you interact with fellow candidates and employees. It already affects how you are going to be interacting with the employer. The employer already have a perspective of you. Yeah, so trust me. So if you're sending me an email, as little as the fonts in your emails, it speaks a lot about you. As little as you having different font size in your CV, different font size, different colors, and all of those, it speaks a lot about your CV. So beyond you having a good CV, you want to be what? Present yourself professionally. Yes, you know that you are coming for an interview. You want to be well groomed with a shirt and um a properly ironed trousers, and if you're a female, properly ironed dress, fitting and all. Yeah, and one that you are comfortable in. Yes, don't come trying to not being comfortable in the outfit you are putting on. It won't speak well of you. Like I said, the recruiter is going to be making mental notes within the first 30, 10 to 15 seconds that he or she is interacting with you. So you want to be what? You want to be dressed professionally. You need to be sharp and or looking sharp and all. Yeah. And like I said, from the previous slide, I said what? You need to be present. So meaning not just you being present physically, your mind, how you interact, you need to be physically present in your mind and your body language and all of those. Yeah, because trust me, you sitting, the kind of body languages that you pass across really speaks a lot about you. And these are the things that recruiters will be looking at. And I also want to say that you want to maintain a steady eye contact because it projects confidence and helps you to really show that yes, you are really confident. Because once you come to an interview session and you are looking down or looking away, it probably shows you are lying to me or you don't really know what you are saying. Yeah, so you want to really maintain a steady eye contact with, not saying to stare, but at least maintain eye contact when having a conversation with the recruiter. And so I already mentioned about the professional attire, personally groomed beneath, professional presence, body language, and be what? Be confident. Yeah, speak clearly, speak audibly. Yeah, so you don't want to just bramble over or over your the words you are speaking, or you don't want to just put everything as though you are not organized. So you need to speak clearly so that the recruiter is able to hear you out. Because it's only when I hear you, or it's only when the recruiter hears you that he will be able to pass his judgment. Yeah, so it's important that we speak audibly. Because trust me, you are presenting yourself as a potential employee. So if I'm looking at you, or the prospective employer is looking at you want to see and see that, oh, I think this person will be a good fit on my team. I think this person will be a good fit for this organization that I am recruiting for. So it is important that we demonstrate a strong physical presence and appearance so that we can stand out and among the crowd that day. That being said, what is the recruitment journey like for that day? What is the journey like for that day? What are the things that will be happening on that day? Yeah, so on that day, basically, it's you'll be having employer engagement. Prospective employers will be available, introducing themselves to you, telling you about their organizations, who they are recruiting for, all of those. Yeah, so you will be meeting with different employers, and beyond that, you'll be handing over your CVs to them, having initial screenings with these with these employers. You'll be having on-site interview with them, and basically they will be making their decisions from that job fair. And beyond that, once that decision is made, they can now invite you for further follow-up. Because, like I said, this day is shortening the journey of online applications, writing screenings, having first stage interview, and all of those. So all of this, now you are coming out to meet with the employer that day. Is that day you are making your application. So indirectly, application has been waived, all of those things has been shortened. So you're just coming to meet the employer that day. If you're a good fit for the organization, you get hired. If you're not a good fit, they basically just keep the CV aside. If you're not a good fit for the company they're hiring for that, they make that decision immediately. And if you're a good fit, they're already shortlisting you for the next level to either meet with the employer directly or to meet with their CEO and all of those. So just basically passing you to probably the semi-final stage or the final stage already. Yeah. So it is important that you understand those things that are happening on that day. And like I also said, the key message here is also that even if you don't get an instant interview that day, because it's a job fair, so basically getting to see opportunities, but you really want to create a lasting impression with your recruiter that day, because even if there are no interviews, or even if they don't have a role that aligns with the your career path on that day, um the lasting impression, a memorable impression or a memorable experience that you are leaving the recruiter with, we help them to will keep you in their mind for further and subsequent opportunities that aligns with your career path. Because trust me, there's some places that, oh, maybe the roles available might not really fit into your next career path, but with a good CV and lasting a memorable experience and impression with your interviewer or recruiter, definitely there will be follow up discussions that will land you that job that you are looking at. So let's just go. I know I'm running out of time. I just have like 15 minutes. I think I've exhausted that time already. Let me look at it. Yeah, so let's just move to approaching employer. So you need to have your 30-second elevator pitch available. You need to have it handy. Yes, you need to have it handy. Yeah, 30-second elevation pitch. It is important to have it handy so that you are able to speak clearly. Avoid saying, please, I need a job. Avoid saying, please, I need a job. Instead, introduce yourself with purpose and value. My name is Olushola Oyonomi. I am so and so with experience in this and that. I am looking for opportunities in this and that. And I believe my strengths, identify your strengths, and will add value to your team. That is basically in 30 seconds, because like I tell you, recruiters will be making their decisions fast. And the first impression you make with them is what will remain with them. Yeah. So beyond the four pillars that is here, or beyond the four items that I have on my screen, you're saying what? Be confident, be clear, be concise, and be curious. You need to ask intelligent questions. You have your elevator pitch, and it is important for you. Yeah, elevator pitch is important. Yeah, so I think I can just do that. I can drop that on the chat so that you can, or just take a screenshot of this and tailor it as it is here. Yeah, so that you can have it handy and be prepared for that day. So to make this approach clearer for you, I already said what? Be clear. Know exactly which job and roles you are targeting. Don't come that day and just be saying, there is no anything. If I don't have anything, mean you have any job you have, I will take. You need to know what you want, because that is the only way the recruiters can help you and you can land the right job for yourself. So you want to already know, oh, based on are you an entry level? Are you a mid-level career person? Are you a senior person and looking forward to the next opportunity to grow in your career? You need to know where you are in your career phase and the opportunities you are looking out for. Yes, and like I said, keeping it concise. Have your 30-second elevator pitch that you wish to sell yourself, and what? Be curious. Ask thoughtful questions about the company, about the organization culture, and all of those during your interviews, because it's going to give you more insights on the role you are requesting. So you need to know the kind of roles that you already have that you are looking out for that day. Yeah, because that's the only way the employers will recommend you for the right thing. Yeah, based on what the role you are looking out for. Yes, and moving on, um, the D-Day candidate checklist. Yeah, so I think I already mentioned this before. Do I have enough CV printed? Are these CVs tailored to the roles that I am interested in? Am I professionally dressed and well groomed enough for this role, for this day? Do I know which targets roles I'm applying for? Am I prepared for rapid on-site interview questions? So you need to prepare for this. Are my certificates and work samples ready? So you need to have this also. Can I confidently present my 30-second introduction? Can I tell myself, oh, I am Olushola Oyeromi. I'm a professional with experience in this, that, and that. I'm looking for opportunities in this. And I believe my strengths and skills in mention your skills add value to it, will help me land this job and support the growth of the organizations that I'm looking forward to working with. It is important. And what? Above all, is my LinkedIn profile up to date? Hope you are not selling, you are not a customer service person in real life, but you are an hairdresser online, or you are a so it is important that your LinkedIn profile is up to date. Are you an engineer in real life, and online you are a banker? Two extreme ends. So your LinkedIn profile needs to be in sync with what your career is currently. So it is important that your LinkedIn is well updated, because these are the quickest places where people will really go to, and recruiters will go to go and verify some of your claims. So it's important that your LinkedIn profile is well aligned with your CV that you have presented to these recruiters. Remember, the job fair may open the door, but how you present yourself determines whether you will get invited for final levels and all. Um, so, simple and short, come prepared, engage confidently, show your value, and have follow ups, request for follow up contacts. Um, Let me take questions here. Thank you. Are there questions? Are there questions? Are there questions? Okay, Damilola Odelade. Damilola Odelade has a question. Host, can you help me unmute Damilola Odelade for his question? And you can feel free to also drop your questions. Noah, please go ahead and drop your question in the chat also. I can see that. Yes, Miriam, you can type your question. I can see the chat. Go ahead.
All right, thank you so much, sir. Very, very insightful session. Thank you so much. So my question is about specific role. So what about someone like me? I'm junior level project manager, but then my roles can
Okay.
also double as administrative officer and then also like virtual assistant. So how do you present that? Because sometimes there are some companies that might know, oh, junior level project manager might not fit in, but when you come in, oh, as a maybe as another kind of role, but then the same strength, but then
Bro,
another
yeah.
name, right?
Yeah, same
So how do
strength.
you
Yeah.
do that?
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Thank you so much, sir.
is the title, yeah, I get your question. So I understand the title, but now are you able to really present your skills and align them with the opportunities you are looking out for? That is the key. That is what you need to do. You need to align your strengths currently, your key strengths currently, and align them with the job um you are looking out for. That is the best thing to do. Does that answer your question? Yes, go ahead, Miriam, type your question. Your question is, how can we prepare for general questions since we don't know the companies to expect? So for that, goodness, basically, you want to prepare for questions relating to the roles and opportunities that you are looking out for. So example, you're looking out to be an administrative assistant on all. You want to okay, so I'm coming to know. Yeah, so basically you're looking for self based on these roles that you're looking out for. Likely questions that you may be asked. You want to prepare based on this. Yeah. Then, like I said, the companies coming are also companies that are recruiting directly and also companies that are recruiting for other companies. So you may not really have information about the companies, but you already know the roles you're looking out for. So you want to prepare yourself based on the opportunities and the roles that you're looking out for. That is how you prepare. If Yama said, what if my CV doesn't align with
Miss
a job
Ashola,
I am interested in? Okay, yes, go ahead, Mrs. Bumi.
can you check your messages? Thank you.
Yes, what's something? Yes, I'm checking my messages.
I mean WhatsApp, not Zoom.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Blessing is not able to
Oh,
unmute.
okay, okay. Oh, okay, okay. All right. Oh, questions are at the end. Oh, okay. So let's just drop all the questions. Questions will be answered at the end of the session. Yeah, thank you. So I can stop presenting now. So I learned that questions will be answered at the end of the session. Yeah, so that other presenters can really come up and take you through. So just keep your questions, have them written down. At the end of the session, all of your questions will be answered. And you never can tell. Other sessions coming up might have addressed some of these questions that you have on the table. So I wish you guys all the best as you prepare for this day. And trust me, with God's helping you, you will land your dream job. And have a wonderful weekend. Bye. Blessing over to you. Blessing, if you are speaking, you are muted.
We
We
can't
can't
hear
hear
you
you.
yet.
We can't
Blessing.
hear you, Blessing.
Is someone able to help her with her sound? Thank you.
Okay, please confirm you can hear me now.
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you so much. I will just quickly share my screen and then we would move to the next session. Please just use your favorite emoji to appreciate Mr. Lushola. Let's use our favorite emoji. Let's keep it flying. Let's keep it flying. Yes, he has done a great job. And like he mentioned, please, if you have any question, do well to drop it in the chat. We will take it once it's time for question and answer. Thank you so much. So the next beautiful session we're going to be having is CV writing masterclass and practical Q&A by Bumi Akiwade. Now we'll just quickly go through her bio. Impressive, right? She's a human resource and people development consultant, and she's also a lead facilitator and a founder and also lead HR consultant at People Sparked. Please, let's use our favorite emoji to continue. Just encourage her. This is a lot. HR consulting firm focused on helping organizations build effective people system, healthy workplace culture, strong team, and sustainable growth. With over 15 years of experience across education, agriculture, consulting, logistics, supply chain, and government sector, Bumi is an associate member of the Chartered Institute of Personnel and Development, CIPD, UK, an association of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management of Nigeria, CIPM, and an associate member of Women in Management, Business and Public Service, WIMBIS. She's on a mission to impact one individual and organization at a time, changing the narrative, building capacity, strengthening leadership, and creating system that sustains growth. So please help me welcome Miss Bumi. Please let's welcome her. Please use your emojis. Let's keep it flying. Let's keep it flying. Let's keep it flying. Thank you so much, Ma. You are welcome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Blessing. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for that warm welcome. Good morning once again. It's so good to be here. I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge the entire team, the coordinator of the Transformers League of Professionals, Mrs. Adeyinka John, Mr. Olushola, the entire team. Thank you to our moderator. You're doing a good job. Mr. Sam, Mr. Sheon, King Yubi, just to mention a few. Thank you all for what you do, and thank you for having me. I would also like to acknowledge all our speakers today. Thank you, Mr. Olushola, for preparing the ground. You've already given us soft landing. And my key takeaway from the first session is be prepared, be professional, be memorable. I love the part where he talked about you not asking the recruiter for hotspots. Don't say help me with hotspots. You can't afford to do that. And also be present, not just being physically present, but you are really there. So thank you to everyone. It's been an engaging and interesting session so far. And welcome once again. So today we know the topic for this session. We are looking at building a CV that gets you noticed. Our goal today is very simple. In the course of the session, and when we are done, we should individually be able to know exactly what to add or to remove, or how to restructure, repackage, edit our CV. It's important to note that your CV is a record of everything you have done. It is a marketing document. It is designed to show an employer why you are worth speaking to. So we don't want to see, as a recruiter, we don't want to see an 8-page CV, 9 pages, 10 pages. Yes, we understand that you have a wealth of experience, but you're being able to summarize that experience also speaks to how well you communicate in writing. It speaks to how your communication skills are. So it's important we take note of that. In the course of this session, we would briefly look at why your CV is not getting you interviews. I don't know how many applications you've made and you are not getting interviews. We'll look at what could possibly be the issue. We will look at 5 things every great CV must do. We'll look at the career changes. It's possible you are here this morning and you are transitioning, or you're about to transition, or you just want to change careers. We would look at that briefly. And as we wrap up, we will look at the 30-second CV test, and we'll look at how to get noticed. Okay. If you are here with me, if you are active, And if you are looking forward to engaging on this session, please let me see your emojis. That would really show that it will really show that we are all in this room together. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I would like to ask a question. How many of you have submitted your CV several times and you heard absolutely nothing? Let's hear from you. How many applications have you done in the last, let's say 6 months? Let's say this year now, how many applications have you done? And how many invitations have you had to be interviewed? I have done over 20 companies. Wow. So in the 20 companies you applied to, how many responded or how many interviews were you invited for? This is actually very critical. It's also possible that we have people on call who are open to new opportunities, but have not even applied, or you've just had 2 to 5 applications. I can see someone say almost 100 applications. That's good. That's good. This year, please let's take note that the number of applications you've done isn't a bad thing. You know, it even shows how positive you are. It shows enthusiasm. It shows that you are intentional. So I like that. Almost 100 applications this year. And no, don't say barely 25 responses. That is good. No, so beyond the responses, when you say 25 responses, do you mean you were invited? Were you invited for interviews? Did you have 25 interviews? Okay, I see more than 30 applications and 5 replied. By reply, is that you were invited for interviews? Out of 100% responses, 9%. I have made close to 85 applications. Only 3 have called for an interview. Be encouraged, be encouraged. Okay, any more responses? So the problem may not be that you are unqualified. Sometimes it's very possible that your CV is not communicating your value quickly enough. It's possible that you have a good CV, a decent CV, but when recruiters just, scan through it, they are not able to see the juice of your CV, the critical things, the important things. So you must bear in mind that recruiters have loads of CVs to review. So your CV should be able to answer these basic questions. Who are you? Mr. Shola talked about this. Who are you? What can you do? So even beyond the physical interview, your CV is your marketing tool. So you need to get that first impression there and then, so that any recruiter that looks at your CV is thinking to themselves, no, I need to shortlist this candidate. I need to have a conversation with this candidate. So your CV should answer these questions. Who are you? What can you do? And why should I consider you for this role? A good CV doesn't just tell a story, it tells the recruiter, it tells the employers why your story is relevant to their need. Okay, now let's look at 5 things every great CV must do. 5 things every great CV must do. Number 1, you should have a clear professional identity. Don't make us guess what you do. We shouldn't open the CV and we are searching. Is this person a marketer or a customer service person or an engineer or a doctor? We should not need to. Once we open the CV, these things need to show. So you need to have a clear professional identity. We open your CV, let's see your name, and usually let it be first name, surname. We don't want to see Okeke, Junior, Amarachi, Abigail. And then the recruiter is wondering, how do we address you? You don't need to put all the names that you have, on, all the names you were given during your naming ceremony. First name, last name. I know many of us are very, we have this soft spot when it comes to our names, your identity. So you want to put all the names. It's not necessary on a CV. It's preferable your first name and your surname. And immediately after your first name and surname, put, directly under it. If you notice the profile, Miss Blessing read our profiles, and if you notice, immediately after our names, she put what we do. That's how your CV, should showcase what you do immediately. So don't go straight to your contact details. Let us know what you do, even before we get to the professional summary, the summary of your profile. Let us see what you do. Bumi Akinwande, HR, Human Resources Professional, clear cut. Okay, I'll give another example. Give us a name. Okay, let's say Emanuela Adiola. I just mixed names. Emanuela Adiola, Business Development Executive, Client Acquisition, Relationship Management. Okay, let's look at those that are changing careers as an example. Let's say you are a teacher. That has been the career path you've been following. You are a teacher and you are looking to transition into HR. You are looking to move into HR. Rather than putting on your CV, you put your name, Bumi Akinwande, and the headline we see is teacher. You want to transition and you're probably applying for HR roles. Now you look at your transferable skills. It's about packaging. Of course, we're not talking about false packaging, but representing yourself appropriately. So in the case of a teacher, your transferable skills are there. Rather than putting teacher, you have people and learning professional, because a teacher is attending to people, human beings. You have people and learning professional, training, facilitation, stakeholder engagement immediately after your name. So your CV should have a clear professional direction, even if you are changing careers. Number 2 point, get the 5 things every CV must do. Number 2, let at a glance, I mentioned it earlier, once we look at your CV, the top half of your CV should show us everything we need to know. So let the highlight of your CV or the juice of your CV or the strengths or the things that correlate with the job application, let the main things, the key points, the keywords be at the top part of the CV. Okay, so it should have at first glance, we should be able to see your name, like I said earlier, your professional headline, like I gave an example, then your contact details, your email. How do we reach you? How do we reach you? So your email is important. Now let me talk a bit about email. We need to be careful. Attention to detail is attention to detail, even with your email address. Even with your email address. If you currently have an email address that has nothing to do with your name, let's say, for example, your name is Emanuela Adiola. I hope you don't mind me using your name. And your email is xyz1234@yahoo.com. It says something about your person. It says something about, it gives an impression. You want to use your name, for example, Emanuela Adiola@gmail.com. I don't know, I don't like Yahoo. I don't know why. At gmail.com. It's possible the name has been taken. There's a way you can put your name. Maybe you put dot or something. The most important thing is even your email should have a professional outlook. Then you add your phone number. Sometimes you could be applying for global roles. How do they reach you? You need to put the country code. You are in Nigeria, that's +234. You are in the UK, that should be +44. So these details matter. We don't need your age, we don't need your gender, we don't need your local government area. These things are not important. Okay, then you put your location, not your specific address for safety reasons, just your location. If you're in Abuja, that is Abuja, Nigeria. If you're in Lagos, that is Lagos, Nigeria. I hope we can all still hear me. Let me see your emoji if you can hear me. Don't forget to include your LinkedIn address. And this is a call to anyone that doesn't have a LinkedIn address. Please get one immediately, sign up or sign in and create a profile, okay? And just place your CV, transfer your CV onto your LinkedIn page. So subsequently, after your contact details, you should have a short professional summary of yourself. It shouldn't be more than, let's say, a paragraph or two. You keep it short, concise, because you don't want to have a professional summary that takes like a whole page of the CV. So where's the space for you to put your work experience and your key skills? So summary is very important when it comes to your CV. Now, from the professional summary, recruiters are able to tell what do you call it now? Cyber cafe CVs. You will know a cyber cafe CV once you see it. Same old, same old. I think this is also a call to anybody that is running maybe a cyber cafe business to innovate, you know. When we see cyber cafe CV, we know the regular thing. I am a hardworking, dedicated, passionate individual. I'm seeking a challenging opportunity, rather than saying that, like Mr. Shola said, who you are, what you do, and the skill set you have, the kind of value you want to add into this new organization you're applying to. So as an example, for a professional summary, I'm a HR professional with 6 years experience supporting recruitment, employee relations, HR operations across growing organizations. I'm experienced in developing people processes and supporting managers to improve employee performance and engagement. All in one, you've talked about who you are, your level of experience, your key skills, your expertise, and the value you bring. Okay. Number three, under the section for your work experience, when you put, so it's important you arrange, if you have years of experience, highlight it. How do I mean? Your recent place of work, if you are working somewhere, your recent place of work should be what you should display first. If you started working since 2010, you don't need to put that work experience at the top part. So you should order your work experience in reverse chronological order. In reverse chronological order. So that means from the present, and then you flow down to the past. And for every place you've worked, the devil is in the detail. Attention to detail. Okay, you are working here or you are not working here. We need to see what month you started and the year. What month you started and the year. If you are able to effectively communicate on your CV, it even reduces the kind of questions the recruiter may ask you if you are called for an interview. Because if you give room for, if you don't make your CV as clear as possible, there's that tendency, if you even make it to the interview, there's the tendency for the recruiter to want to understand why do you have these gaps on your CV? Why is this? Are you currently working in that place? There will be no need for all of that if you are as clear as possible on your CV. Let us see, you started the job maybe 2024 June, so June 2024. If you are not there anymore, you need to indicate to, let's say, June 2026, and if you are still there, till present. So clarity on your CV is very key. And for every place you have worked, don't list duties. Don't just carry your job responsibilities, what you were asked to do, just lift it, copy, and paste. No, your job description, that is personal to you. From your job description, from your experience in that organization, what were you able to achieve? So focus on your achievements. Focus on your achievements. If you're a social media person, don't just put responsible for managing social media platforms. Rephrase it. What did you achieve there? And that is why this conversation is important, because if you've not been paying attention to some of these things, it would even make you more intentional in the workplace, while you are in the workplace. If you are working now, while you are in the workplace, you will be more intentional about what you do, how you do it, and your milestones. You will be more intentional about goals, about making impact. So, when you are making impact, easily you are able to put that down. So rather than saying that you manage the social media platforms, well, what did you achieve? You should be able to say manage, for example, these are all examples, manage the company's LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube platforms. I developed content that improved audience engagement. You will go a step further by, putting a number to it. Sometimes I'm wary of percentages. Numbers are more relatable. Percentage is good, numbers are more relatable. Let's say, for example, you grew the Instagram page from 100 to 500 followers in 6 months. That is specific. So you need to take your time under the work experience, especially for a role you're applying for that is that is I'm looking for the word now. A role that is big on work experience, you need to be able to put all these details. So show your achievements for every place you have worked. If you manage a team of 10, it's not sufficient to just say manage a team of 10. What happened when you manage that team? What did you achieve? In other words, you put led a 10-member team as an example, and we achieved 95% of quarterly performance targets. Number 4 point, 5 things every great CV must do. Tailor your CV. So let's take, for example, you've applied to so many places, let's say 100, 200. My question is, have you been using the same CV? Let's see our responses. Please be honest. Have you been using the same CV for all the places you've applied to? Because there's no one size fits all CV. There's no one size fits all CV. For every place you're applying to, you need to take your time to look at what they require. Don't just jump and apply for roles. I have seen it countless times. Once people just cite a vacancy or an advert, they don't take time to look at what is required, or if there are contact details for them to get more information so that they can apply appropriately. You will just see people applying. They will storm your email. And some, it's so bad that you see people would send an email, you open it, and it's blank. It's blank. There's no dear hiring manager, blah, blah, blah. There's even no CV. Oh, I've sent that countless times. There's even no CV attached. So even before you send an email, you need to double check. You need to double check. Have I sent, the cover letter or the opening email? And then have I actually attached my CV? These things are important. So for any vacancy you see, you check the key skills, you check the required experience, you check the industry knowledge, you check qualifications, you check important keywords. Very possible that when you look at some of these things, it doesn't align with what you do. It doesn't align with your own strengths. It's not everything that you call, I'm going to face it by faith, by faith. No, we need to also, there's a thin line. There's a thin line between, oh, I'm believing God, and you are just outrightly deceiving yourself. So you need to first check whether what you are applying for even aligns with you. Let's take, for example, they are looking for salespeople and you don't plan to go into sales. You are probably, what example can I use? Let's say maybe you're even a nurse and you want to follow that line. You are not going into sales anytime soon and you just apply. You won't, nobody will give you feedback. So you need to take time to look at what you're applying for. Pick out all the necessary things there. Oh, does this align to me? Is this something I would like to do? It's also important too that you know what you want for yourself. You ask some job seekers, what kind of job are you looking at? What do you do? What kind of job? Any job, any work, anything? No. So it's important you gain clarity for yourself. Start with that. Gain clarity as an individual. Who are you? What do you stand for? What are your strengths? What career path do you want to build? And that would help, to tailor your CV. That would help to build your CV. When you see vacancies, you know whether this is what I want to do or not. Let me run very quickly. I would need guidance on timing, please, so that I can wrap up. So that's point 4, tailor your CV. Then the last point, make your CV easy to read. And I'm going to talk about ATS here. So a brilliant CV can still fail. You may have a good CV, but if it is difficult to read, that's a problem. It's just like somebody who is a student. You are very good, you are straight A's or something like that, but you have a bad handwriting. And once your teachers pick your notes, they just all of a sudden they want to use the toilet or they just want to go on break. So it's not enough for you to just pick one style of font because you like it. No, is it readable? Is it readable? So you need to avoid huge paragraphs, excessive colors, complicated graphics, too many fonts. Mr. Shola has talked about some of these things also. Unnecessary personal information. I mentioned that earlier. It's not necessary except it's indicated. It's not necessary for you to tell us whether you are married, single, searching. It's not necessary. We don't need your local government area. We don't need your age. We don't need your gender, except it was explicitly stated or something. And, that is maybe the gender. But local government, all those things, who are your relatives and all of that, those things are not necessary. So when you have a CV, it's not about having a beautiful CV. So we open your CV, we see your picture, you're looking like a model. Then we see different colors, blue, red, so many lines, so many tables. If you are a creator, maybe like a graphics person or whatever, include the link to your portfolio alongside your LinkedIn address. You don't need to be packing colors into your CV because the ATS will not pick it. The ATS will not pick it. There were some statements that Blessing showed on her screen that talked about 70% ATS. I can't quote it now, but ATS will just, it is whatever it is fed to it that it does. ATS is not a human being. It is called applicant tracking system. It's a software, and many organizations use it now to help them organize and screen CVs. So the ATS will do that. Then, after the shortlist, the ones that are remaining is what will now be passed to the human being, the recruiter. So if your CV does not make it past ATS, there's no way you can be called. It didn't even get to the desk of the human being, of the recruiter. There's no way you'll be called. So you need to take out all those lines, all those tables, all those colors. If it is not like a modeling job or something like that, and if it was not expressly stated, you don't need to put your picture. There's no need for that. Let's look at some ATS rules, practical rules for your CV to pass through the ATS. You use standard headings. We've talked about it. All your headings, professional summary, work experience, skills, education, standard headings. Use keywords from the job description. We are not saying that you should lie or form. That is why it is not every role you must apply for. Once you see that, I don't it doesn't align with what I do and my experience and whatever, because there are sometimes these vacancies will say, this is a must. this is desirable. If the ones that this is a must, the list of this is a must, you don't even have any, why bother to apply? The ATS will not even pick it at all. So you use keywords from the job description, you keep your formatting simple. We've talked about all of this. Then you are sure that it will pass through the ATS. And then if they specify the format in which your CV should come, maybe they say send it in Word or send it in PDF or send it in another way, pay attention so that you will send it in that file format. Because once you do not send it in the right file format, it may not even pick at all. So it's important we use clear headings on our CV, bullet points, summarize, summarize, summarize. We know you have 20 years of work experience, but summarize into like a 3-page CV. We don't want to see 6 pages, 7 pages, 8 pages. Let your fonts be readable. Let us see plenty of white space. We shouldn't open the CV and see black, or we see red, or we see green. So plenty of white space. Keep it simple. Less is more. And then your work experience, let it be in reverse chronological order and put the relevant information only. It's not about CV beauty. It's about it being relevant to what you're applying for and it being readable. So I have a special advice for those that are switching careers. Okay. And I would reiterate this. Remember that you are not starting from zero. You have transferable skills. You have transferable skills. You are not starting from zero. I used the example of a teacher earlier. I will use it again. A teacher, moving from the teaching space to the HR space. What are your transferable skills? You have facilitation skills, training, communication, stakeholder engagement and management, documentation, assessment, people development. Okay, let's use another example. You were in customer service, but you want to move into sales. You've been eyeing that, that path. You feel that you would have more career progression there, or maybe you just love to interact with people and you notice that when you engage customers, you are able to upsell. They came to buy something, but they end up buying so much more just because they are relating with you and you want to go into sales. That's fine. You have transferable skills. What are they? You have, for example, client relationship management. You have communication, problem solving. I hope we can still hear me. I feel alone. Complaint resolution. You have upselling. You have customer retention. Please let me see your emojis if you can hear me. I'm wrapping up now. I hope you're not tired or hungry. Okay. So it's not about job title. It's not about job title, especially if you are moving, you are switching. It is you will repackage yourself. What are your transferable skills? And then you highlight them. And let's move on to, as we begin to wrap up, we've talked about it earlier anyway, but let's look at the 30-second CV test. Everyone listening to me, can you get out your CVs and just have a look at your CV? In fact, this 30 seconds is even long. It is even long. You see, when Blessing was introducing things and all, 6 seconds. 6 seconds. So let's say 6 to 30 seconds. Open your CV right in front of you, maybe from your phone or your laptop. Look at your CV yourself. Look at the first half of the first page. Do you have all the juice there? All the important things on your CV. In 30 seconds, you can count. In 30 seconds, in less, can we say, from just looking at the first portion of your CV, can we say what you do, what role you are looking for, your strongest skills? You cannot say any job, any work. I want to work in a challenging environment where I can use my skills. No, that is cyber cafe CV. Okay. your relevant experience, one or two things you've achieved. So we need to be able to see the juice of your CV. And as I wrap up now, get noticed. How can you get noticed? So this is basically an acronym to guide you on ticking the relevant boxes, on your CV. N stands for name your professional value. Name your professional value. O, organize your information. T, tailor it. I, illustrate achievements. We don't want to see job description or your duties. No, just your achievements, your milestones, what you were able to do, how you moved the organization from point A to B. C, cut the irrelevant. Okay. E, edit carefully. And D, demonstrate your feat. So get noticed. And in closing, I would say, remember that your CV is your marketing tool. So you should be able to articulate your value. So at this point, I would say thank you all for listening. I hope you can still hear me. Let's see your emojis. Thank you. Your CV is your marketing tool. Articulate your value.
Wow, thank you so much, Ma. Thank you so much. Please, let's give it up for her. Thank you so much. It has been an amazing session. Writing, I've just been taking down a whole lot of notes from talking about how it's very important that on your CV you don't have your marital status, your local government, and those unimportant information, to ensuring that you focus on your achievements, not just the tasks that you've done. Thank you so much for sharing your wealth of experience. And I'm very sure that we have a lot of questions, but please ensure to put them in the chat box. And if you know that you're going to maybe forget, write them down. At the end of the third speaker session, we'll have time to take question, and we will get to answer whatever question you have. So thank you so much, ma'am. We're really grateful. Thank you. Please, let's keep our favorite emoji flying. Let's keep it flying. Let's keep it flying. Okay, thank you so much. So we will move right into our third speaker. And you agree with me that we have like amazing lineup of speakers today. I am so happy, and I have been learning myself. So our next speaker is no other person but Mr. Richard, and he's going to be taking us on the session interview prep, mock session, and then we will now go into our Q&A immediately. Now let's look at Mr. Richard's bio. Please ensure you have your emojis handy that you're going to be flying, because this is an amazing TV. Now, Richard Omoniye is an HR professional with over a decade of experience across UN agency, GIZ, MSF, and ECOWAS connected programs, a licensed member of the Chartered Institute of Professional Management of Nigeria. I should see our emojis flying. CIPM, and former CIPM Study Center facilitator. If you want to have this kind of speakers and events, you know how much you are going to pay, and you're getting all this for free. Please use your favorite emoji. Let's just keep it flying. He has trained HR candidates preparing for professional license examination. Richard has managed multi-country HR operations spanning recruitment, workforce planning, employee relations, and policy advisory. He is also a career development mentor to young professionals and author of How to Get Jobs in UN Agency, World Bank, ECOWAS, and international NGOs. I should see more emojis flying. This is amazing. The practical toolkit. Today, he brings his real world experience directly into this session to help you win your interview. Please, without further ado, help me welcome Mr. Richard. Thank you so much, sir. It's a pleasure to have you here. Okay, so please let's keep welcoming him while we'll quickly help him unmute his mic. Please let's keep welcoming Mr. Richard. Keep the emojis
Right.
flying. Let's keep the emojis flying. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Blessing. Thank you. I hope you can hear me, Blessing.
Yes, clearly.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Blessing, you are a good marketer. Really, you can sell. You can sell anything in the way you market. You know, the facilitators has been amazing. But please, I'm so privileged to be here. Thank you, everyone, and I hope you can all hear me. I stand on all established protocol. My thanks to all the organizers of this session, the previous speaker as well, who have been amazing with their presentations. I send my regards and greetings to everyone. So it's an honor once again to be here, and I will, dive straight into the presentation on the topic: how to stand out and win, in an interview. Blessing, you can help me with the projection of the presentation while I go on. So while Blessing is working on that, let me quickly move on with the presentation. So this question is a very interesting question, actually: how to stand out and win in an interview, because interview is a test, and it's also a storytelling, like I always tell people. Once you have your stories, in fact, if you say you're not a storyteller, then you're not ready for an interview. You have to be a good storyteller to, stand out in any interview. So once you have that understanding that interviews is about storytelling, then all you need to know, which I will be giving you some tips in this presentation, are some of the rules, the structure of that storytelling that you need to know, so that you can prepare properly your storytelling ability for any interview you might have, both for this job fair and for any future interview that you will be having. So let's move to the next slide. Quickly, the roadmap on this presentation. I have about 9 major topics, to talk about briefly, and I'll be running through all of them in the next 35 minutes. And the roadmap from number 1, the hard truth about interviews. We're going to be talking about the hard truth about interviews that you need to know. What are interviewers looking for? What are they asking you for? We're going to talk about that as well. We're going to talk about the STAR method. I'm sure a lot of you already must have been familiar with this word, STAR. What was it all about? We're going to talk about that as well, and why it is important, in any interview to set you apart from others. Then number 4, STAR in action. How do we use it? I'll give you practical examples of how to use the STAR concept. Then communication, body language, and confidence. How you project yourself in an interview, either a physical interview or a virtual interview. All these things are always observed, and they come, they're very essential when they are rating and evaluating your performance. Then, of course, handling difficult questions. How do you handle difficult questions when it comes up? Then question you should ask any employer. A lot of people always miss it at this point, either because they are nervous, they are scared, or because they feel, why should I even be asking my interviewers question? But this is actually a very important, an important phase in any interview for you to also show yourself, show your capacity, and put your interviewers on their toes. Let them know that the person they are interviewing also has something, has value beyond just answering questions. So we'll talk about that as well. Then, of course, answering, tell me about yourself. Then, of course, we'll do a quick mock interview demonstration. All right, so without wasting much time, let's quickly go to the next slide, which is talking about the hard truth about interviews. What are the hard truths about interviews? And I'll be very, very blunt here. thanks to Madam Bumi, the previous speaker. She actually mentioned some of these things when she was presenting on CV, how to prepare your CV. Unfortunately, or should I say incidentally, the CV preparation and interview is a very, very blunt process. Brutal process, let me even use that word. Very brutal. Brutal in the sense that nobody has time. No recruiter, just like you said earlier, no recruiter has time to invest several minutes on a particular CV. The same thing goes for an interview, So you need to be prepared, just like Mr. Shola said earlier. Preparation is always giving you an edge in any interview process. So what do I mean by the hard truth about interviews? Now, "30 seconds. Yes. I want you guys to look at it very well and let it come into your subconsciousness and consciousness so that you can remember it anytime. 30 seconds, is the average time a recruiter spends on your CV. I mean, it doesn't mean there are no exceptions, please. Okay, because I'm always very careful when I'm advising people on interviews and CVs. But that's when you hear some people say, but I did this and it worked. Yes, there are exceptions. There are always exceptions to any rules. But exception is not the norm. And so you don't want to fall into that category where you'll be praying for exceptional favor. So you want to be prepared. You want to know the fact. Then if exceptional comes and favors you, fine, all well and good. Okay? So there are always exceptions. But basically, for you to know, 30 seconds, that is all your CV gets before a recruiter decides whether to read further or just trash it and move on to the next person. Why? There are thousands of other CVs. I'm sorry. I'm sure we're all aware. We live in a society where we have 1,001 person that can do the same thing you're doing, and it's applying for the same job you're applying for. So how do you make sure you stand out? So 30 seconds is all they have to check. 7 seconds for a first impression. Before you have even said a word, it's 7 seconds is what they have to create an impression of what's your CV, if it's attractive or not, if it's something they are looking out for or not. And 80% of candidates who fail interviews, they fail it because they lack ability. They were not prepared. Some of them don't lack the ability. Some of them have the ability. They have the skills. They have the knowledge, but they're not prepared. So 80% of candidates who unfortunately fail to make it fail because of lack of preparation. So we're going to try today to make sure that all of you here, you fall between the 20% who are well prepared. That's the essence of this session. Now, before an interview, I will advise everyone here listening to us, listening to all the speakers so far, including myself. I would advise you that before an interview, you need to do 3 main things. There are many other things you can do, but among all those things, 3 main things are essential. Number 1, please make sure you research the organization. Whether it's a private organization you're applying to, whether it's an NGO or international organization, please do your research, do your homework. You need to know their mission, their values, their current priorities, and reference them in your answer. Is very, very important. Okay, that is research the organization. Why is this important? It is important because while you are doing your storytelling, don't forget I said earlier that interviews about storytelling. While you are giving answers to questions, you see, you must make sure that your responses, your answers are aligned to some of their values and mission. That is the way you can get their buy-in. That is the way you can connect to their soul. You can connect to them. Okay, this person knows what he's talking about. Okay, this person, whatever this person is saying, is aligning with our, with our values, with our mission, our priority. So you apply to maybe Nestle or Procter & Gamble or any company like that, and you don't know basic information about their mission and vision, then you might be speaking off point. You might be speaking in a direction that does not suit their own direction, and that might not work in your favor in an interview. Whether you apply to UN or you apply to ECOWAS, but you don't know when ECOWAS was created, you didn't get information on their mission and vision of ECOWAS. And while you're speaking, it just look like your direction is totally different from the direction. So you might be saying, you might have some skills and values that they need, but your direction is different from theirs. So they might not consider you. It might work against you in an interview. So you need to have that. Do that first thing. Research the organization you are going to apply. You're going for an interview with. Once you research them, the second thing you need to do is to study the job description line by line. This is also very important because the job description, and Madam Bumi, who presented earlier, can also attest to this, I'm sure, and every other HR person on this panel can also attest to this. The job description actually embodies everything, has all the information the company is looking out for. That is what they want. That job description is telling you who is trying to apply that, look, this is what we lack. This is what we are looking for. Okay, so if you come to an interview and you are speaking off point, you're not addressing those needs, those value that they need, those skills, those knowledge that they need, that they've highlighted in the job description. Your responses are not aligning with them. You're not bringing out some buzzwords, some values adding to those job functions. Then you are better off not being in that interview panel. So you want to study that job description very well, line by line. Every requirement they list is a question waiting to happen. All right. All the questions they will ask you in that interview, the technical questions, because interviews are divided into, you have technical questions asked of you, competency-based questions that will be asked of you, then HR administrative questions that will be asked of you. Now, the technical questions, and the competency-based questions are going to come from that job description that was used in the advert. All right. Maybe they advertise, maybe you apply for an accountancy role or an HR role or an IT role, and they listed all, in the job description what they are looking for. And you didn't read that job description. You didn't know what they need. You didn't have understanding of their need and, what they are looking out for, their requirement. And then in the interview, you are speaking off point. You are giving them a different information. Then you're not doing yourself any favor. That interview is not going to, come out in your favor, most likely. So you want to understand that job description very well, then align your responses to that job description. Then the third point I was saying that you need to prepare for is prepare at least 5 real stories. 5 real stories from your experience. Okay? Prepare those stories. Let me say that again. Prepare 5 real stories from your experience that covers, number 1, achievement, 2, challenge you've overcome before, 3, teamwork, 4, leadership, and 5, a time you've made mistake. All right. Let me quickly go over that again so that for some of us who are writing, the third point you need to prepare for is prepare 5 real stories around this thing I'm going to call out now. These 5 things I'm going to call out. Achievement, your achievement. What have you achieved before? Prepare a story around it. Number 2, prepare a story around how you've overcome a challenge while working, on your job. Prepare a story around that. Prepare a story around teamwork. Question will always come out on teamwork, because even if it's a leadership position or an executive position, they want to see how you've managed people. They want to see how you've managed your staff before, how you've settled conflict or managed conflict. So question will always come out on teamwork. It can come out in various ways. It can come out in different contexts, but question will come out on teamwork. So prepare a story around that. Then 4, prepare a story around leadership. If the role you're applying for is a leadership role. Okay. Then lastly, prepare a story around mistake you've made, weaknesses, failures. Prepare a story around that. Now, why is this important? This is important because if a question comes out on any of this, the story you've prepared already, you can know how to structure that story to answer that question. Okay. And this is also important because, like I said earlier, stories are what panels remember. Okay, not facts about yourself. All right, you might want to write that down. Stories are what the interview panels remember. How were you able to? So they ask you a question. What story were you able to build around it that was believable, with confidence? That story is what lingers in their mind when they are doing their evaluation after you've left. All right, how you're able to answer that question properly, structurally, and that story, they will always remember it. Not facts about yourself. All right. Because of time, let's let's move on to the next slide. Now, here is something that will immediately change how you feel about interviews. Every question that interview panel ask, they ask it to achieve or to know one of these three things here, which is number one, can you do the job? Okay, Bumi, I think you're projecting the next slide. I'm talking about the previous slide now. Oh, sorry, Blessing. Pardon me. Yes, thank you. Can you do the job? That's every question the interview panel is asking you is on these three main points here. Number one, can you do the job? Now, under this, can you do the job? They want to know, do your skills and experience match what they need right now? Now, don't forget, they've seen your CV, and they feel like, okay, on your CV, you're able to convince them that you have the skill, you have what they need, and that was why they call you for an interview. That was why they invited you for an interview. Now, the interview is now an opportunity for you to show them, explain to them, give them that story, confidently that yes, you've done this. You didn't use AI or whatever to prepare your CV. It's something you have. It's a lived experience you have done before, and so you can actually do the job. That is the opportunity you have in that interview to show them. So they want to know, do your skills and experience match what they need right now? Every single question they ask you, no matter how it is worded, is really asking one of these three things. You understand? So the second one is, will you do the job? That is, do you have the motivation? Do you have the commitment to do the job? Are you interested in them? They will test that as well through the question they are asking you. Then the third thing is, will you fit in? They want to know if your personality and values fit in into the organization, fit into the department you'll be working in. All right. And I will take a bit of a minute to explain why this is important. These three things I mentioned, can you do the job? Will you do the job? Will you fit in? You can also, in another form, see it as an evaluation of your knowledge, skill, and ability. In HR, we call it KSA. That is, now, those three things, KSA, knowledge, skill, ability, or attitude. That A can also be exchanged for attitude, all right? Those three things are what every question they'll be asking in any interview will be evaluating. They're evaluating your knowledge. True, can you do the job? They're evaluating your skill. And they're evaluating your attitude, your ability on that interview. And that's where your personality is in. And why is personality important? Why is your attitude important? Your attitude is important because nobody wants to hire someone come in and change the team dynamics. Don't forget that you work in a team. So, there's a popular maxim that said that I would rather hire someone who lacks a bit of technical skills that I can train than hire somebody who has a bad attitude or who has a bad behavior. You cannot train bad behavior. You cannot. Especially in an adult, a professional. You cannot train. Once you have a bad behavior, it's most likely never going to be changed. So some recruiters prefer to hire somebody that has a bit of technical skills, whom they can train to be an expert later on, than hire somebody who has a worst or a bad attitude. So in that interview, you want to show them that, look, I am as humble as anything. I'm as I have good behavior or good personality traits. You want to show that as well in that interview. So once you have these three things in your mind and you prepare for it, it makes the job easier for you. All right. Your job in every responses, in every answer you give in any interview, is to tick all the three boxes at the same time. Okay. When you answer, tell me about yourself, which is a normal question you get in an interview. When you answer that question, you are answering all the three things I highlighted above simultaneously. When you answer, describe a challenge you have overcome, you are answering all these three things I've highlighted. Can you do the job? Will you do the job? And will you fit in? So keep that at the back of your mind for every answer you give today or in any interview you'll be going for in future. Now, let me now show you the tool that you can, that makes answering all these three questions, that makes it easy for you. Let me show you that tool you can use. And so we'll go to the next slide. Okay, so this is a very good tool, the STAR method. Like I said earlier, I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with this already, but just to quickly talk about it and the importance of it, because some people still don't know the importance of this method. Now, STAR method is important because it helps you structure your responses perfectly. It helps you structure it professionally in a way that whoever is listening to you, all right, will get the impression that this person knows what he or she is talking about. That is the importance of the STAR method. Okay. So STAR is, of course, STA. The S stands for situation, the T stands for task, the A for action, and the R for result. Now, in some other contexts or some other books or research you do, you might see it as CAR, car. Some people prefer CAR, the CAR method, which is CAR, C for contest, A for action, and R for result. But ultimately, the two are more or less the same. Okay, whether you're using CAR, which is CAR, or you're using STAR method, they are more or less the same. The CAR, the C in the CAR is contest, and the contest more or less merge situation and task in one. So then the A and R is the action and result. So they are more or less the same. Now let's look at them one by one. The situation here we are talking about is you setting the scene. You are setting the scene briefly. Where were you? What was the context? Okay. Now, the idea here is that you don't spend most of your time here when you are answering a question or when you're preparing for an answer to an interview question. You don't spend most of your time. And that's a mistake most people make. Most people, they spend most of their time in S and T, situation and task. So here you want to keep it very brief. You are setting the scene here. You want to talk about the context, the situation, what happened. All right. The next one is task. Now, after you've talked about what happened, the problem. Now, task is what is the responsibility you were assigned to do to solve that problem, to solve that situation. That is task. What was the responsibility assigned to you? What was your specific role, assigned to you to solve that problem? So here too, you don't want to spend too much time. You want to keep it brief. Okay. Now, the next one is action. Now, here, this is where you spend most of the time. This is where you spend about 60% of your response. All right, because this is actually what they want to hear, what the panel want to hear. What did you do? Don't forget, it's about you, not the team. So whatever story you are curating, whatever story you are preparing for this, for your interview, for your responses, make sure it's about what you as a person have done before, not the team. Because the focus is on you. You are the one they want to hire. So they want to see how you've solved a problem. They want to see how you've been able to, maneuver your way around a challenge. So it's about you. So in this place, in this action point, that's where you want to show them what you did to solve that problem. So here, this is the art of your answer. What did you do? Use I, not we. Okay? Be specific. What steps did you take? What decisions did you make? This should be 60% of everything you say. Then after action, you now go to result. Why? Because the panel also want to see the outcome of your action. It's very important as well. All right? The panel want to know the importance of your action. What was the result? What was the output? Okay? And so, of course, so here is where you sell yourself. What happened? So after I take this step, this was the result. Okay? How much? How many? By what percentage? If you have a figure, you can give it, you can add a figure to it. All right? Numbers make your answer credible. All right? And you can also now end with the lesson you learned. Okay? What is relevant? If you have time, you can also add that to it. But now, if you look at it from this angle, the STAR method, if you're able to use this method in answering your question, trust me, you would have created a very good professional impression into the minds of the interview panel, because they know that this person knows what he or she is talking about. If you're able to use it properly to answer any question you are asked. All right. And like I said earlier, the single biggest mistake I have seen candidates make in many interviews is spending 5 minutes on situation. When they're talking about situation and task, they spend 5 to 7 minutes here. Then they will now rush the action and the result. They'll just rush it in 1 minute. Okay, this will never work in your favor if you have been using this style. So spend more minutes, maybe 3 to 4 minutes on action and result. Then spend like a minute talking about the situation and task, and you'll be good to go. All right. So let me mention here some interview questions. You can use star to respond. Okay. Let me quickly mention them in passing. You can write them down if you have a pen with you. I'll mention 6 just for you to have an idea. There are more, of course, there are many more. Number 1, tell me about yourself. You can use the star method for that. All right? You can use the star method for that. And we'll particularize it later on during the mock. Another question is, why do you want this job? Or why should we hire you? Okay, a question can come out in that form. They want to know why you think you're the best fit for the role. So a star method can also work for that. All right. What is your greatest strength? That's another question you can use star method to answer. Okay. Then, of course, tell me about the challenge you've overcome before on the job. That's also another question you can use star to answer. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Star can also work for that as well. And the last question, do you have any question for us? Trust me, you can use star to answer this too. All right. Now, before the interview, prepare star answers for all these. Okay. And trust me, you will be good to go. No question will come to you as a shock. No question will surprise you in that interview once you prepare yourself for some of these questions using the star method. Either you want to use star or car, anyone you want to use between the two, it's fine. They're more or less the same. But once you prepare ahead with these 2 methods, you are good to go. Okay. So let's go to the next slide quickly. I think I'm because of time. Let us see how star works. All right. Let's use it for one of the questions quickly. Now, the question is, tell me about the time you solved the problem under pressure. All right. And if you look at how we outline the response here, using the star method, the star helps us to tell the story in a very structured and professional way that anybody on the interview will appreciate and they will resonate with easily. Now, the star here says, I was organizing a community event for 200 people when our venue canceled 48 hours before the event. That's a problem. That's the situation, right? Now, the task here is that you, as the lead coordinator, whether you're a leader of that team or you're a member of the team, you need to tell them what you did specifically as a person. So, as the lead coordinator, I had to find an alternative quickly without the team panicking or the event collapse because of the problem that came up, right? If you look at the responses here, they're very short sentence, max 2 sentences, you are done. Then go to the action. A, what did you do? I immediately contacted 8 alternative venues, negotiated an emergency booking at a reduced rate, personally called all 200 attendees with the updated information and redistributed the task across the team, so nothing was missed. Those are the things you did. Now, observe that I indicated here that this is where you spend the longest section. This is a 60% of your response, of your time here, because this is what they want to hear. All right. Then lastly, you talk about the result, the outcome. The event ran successfully with 185 attendees. We received strong positive feedback, and the team confidence in managing pressure significantly improved. Okay. So if you look at this response, even though I kept it very short, but it gives you an idea of what we've been talking about earlier, about the star method. It helps you structure your response. Here now, you will not be modeling responses, and be confusing the panel. It helps you project your responses in a way that they can relate with, and they will definitely appreciate. All right. So when you finish, I would have said we should do a little practical here, but because of time, we'll do that practical during the mock. Okay. Because I always like to carry my audience along while presenting. So because of time, we'll do that during the mock. Let's go to the next slide. But I hope we have an understanding of of how to use the star now. So let's go to the next slide. Here we're talking about the communication and the body language and confidence. Now these things might look small, like small details. They might look like they're a little bit irrelevant, but trust me, they can come very much in handy, for you during an interview, especially for people that go for physical interviews. All right, because in most interview panels, there is always the technical, the hiring manager, who is the technical person that needs the role to be filled. There's usually an HR, definitely. There's usually a psychologist on the panel. If it's a big organization that can afford it, they will bring in a psychologist on the panel. The job of the psychologist is to be looking at you. He will not see anything. He might not even say anything. He might not even ask you a question. His job is to evaluate your body language, evaluate your response, evaluate your fears, your nervousness, to be able to detect if you are lying, if you are rehearsing, if you are pouring down what you've crammed, la cram, la pour. If you are actually confident in what you're saying, that is a major job on the panel. So he might not ask you a question, and he might, but most of the time they don't ask questions. They'll just be looking at you and evaluating your response and scoring you. Okay, so if you have such panel, your body language matters. You can hide it in a virtual interview because you're speaking at the back of a laptop, but in a physical interview, they are seeing everything live and direct. So how you say what you're saying matters as much as what you say. How do you say it? Okay, and that's why this slide was also prepared. 55% of your body language is being evaluated, 38% of tone, and 7% of the words you say are all being evaluated in the panel. So your eye contact, when you are answering a question in an interview, a physical interview, try as much as possible, no matter how shy you are, try as much as possible to look at the panel members when you are answering. Okay, you are not gazing, you are not looking at, you are not okay. Blessing, I think your slide has moved a little bit ahead of me. No, yes, thank you. All right, so while you're in an interview, please always try to establish eye contact with the panel members. Look at them when you're answering questions. It projects confidence to them. Okay, then of course your posture, sit upright, lean slightly forward, and of course don't look disinterested. Don't look like I don't want to be here, I'm just here. Okay, there are some people that give that body language with the way they sit, or there's some people that actually give a body language that they are in a hurry to leave. I've seen that before in an interview. They are interviewing you, you're not calm, you're like, it's almost like you have another job you're going for. So you want to be relaxed, you want to give a good body language. Okay, your posture must be well, you must be able to sit upright. Of course, your tone and pace as well are equally important. So if you're nervous, it will very, very well be noticed. It will be very obvious. Now, you can be very fortunate to meet people on the panel. Someone like me, for example, I'm always I understand. I've passed through that stage too before. So you might actually be lucky or fortunate to meet a very kind HR or kind panel members who will overlook their nervousness. In fact, they'll tell you to calm down. They'll give you like a minute or two to relax. If you're fortunate to have those kind of panel members, then good for you. Take that time, relax, then come out and be confident and project yourself. But if you don't find such panel members, then that's a problem, because your nervousness, they'll be rating you straight. They'll be evaluating you straightforward. So please try and make sure you're able to conquer your nervousness in the interview. Slow down when you're responding and sound confident. Then of course, pause. Take 2 or 3 seconds before answering a question. Okay, it shows that you are calm to understand the question before you respond. Okay, just to be sure, Bumi, please, can you hear me? I'm sorry, Blessing. I don't know why I keep calling you Bumi. Blessing, please, can you hear me? Am I audible? My audio is giving me.
Yes, you're very audible.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. As I was saying, you want to be sure that you take 2 or 3 seconds before answering a question. In fact, if I were you, one thing I always do back then to develop my confidence, when they ask me a question, you can paraphrase, you can rephrase. Okay? And the reason why that is important is because sometimes what you hear might not be what they say. Either because you are nervous or because your mind is in many places at the same time. Okay? What they say might not be what you hear. And so what you are answering might be off point, might not be what they ask you. So it's very important to paraphrase. So I'll also add that, please, if you know you are nervous or if you know you are not, you are not calm, please paraphrase the question when they ask you. All right? Or rephrase it. Okay? So that they will tell you if you're wrong or if you're right. That way you know the question they ask and you can answer. Then lastly, I cannot overstate this, confidence rule. Confidence rule. Okay, I am ready, not I hope I do well. Project it in your response. All right. Confidence is different from pride. It's different from arrogance. Okay, please. And I'm sure a lot of us have an idea of what I'm talking about. So please, let's go to the next slide. Let's quickly move on. The question that trip people in any interview. Okay, here I highlighted some questions that I think some people always struggle with in an interview. One of the questions is, here there are 4, but one of them is, what is your greatest weakness? You know, a lot of people always think that this question, everyone dread it. They always think that this question is, maybe the panel is trying to expose them. So they feel like they need to lie. Okay. Now, in my experience, and I'm sure some of the HR people, professionals on this panel too, will always tell you, this question is an opportunity. See it as an opportunity. Don't see it as a means to expose you or to make you look bad. No. What is your greatest weakness? Do not say I'm a perfectionist. Please, in fact, that one automatically scores you 0. All right, because nobody's a perfectionist. Even me, even Madam Bumi, who presented earlier, or Mr. Olushola, or every other HR person here, even with all the years of experience they've had, nobody's a perfectionist. We still make mistakes. So the moment you say that, is a no-no.
Hi, please confirm you can still hear me. Hello, sir.
I think I was
Okay.
okay.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. Audio was there was an interference. Okay, thank you so much. All right, so please, you're not a perfectionist. Nobody wants to hear that you're a perfectionist. All right, pick a real weakness and show what you are doing to address it. Like I said earlier, it's an opportunity for you to sell yourself. Now, whatever weakness you want to show here, if I were you, I want to mention a weakness that also projects a strength. Now, let me explain what I mean. Make sure that whatever weakness you are talking about here is something that aligns in a way, okay, but that projects a little bit of strength. Now, let me clarify this. Don't forget, they are testing your self-awareness. They want to know how self-aware you are of your own growth, of your own learning, of your own development over time. So the moment you say I'm a perfectionist, in fact, you don't. They will not even waste time. They just in their book, in their scoring matrix, they are scoring you 0 already. All right. What you want to do here is you want to pick a something genuine, something you've actually worked on over time, and show progress, show work, show development and learning. And if you look at the answer I give here, I say I used to struggle with delegating. Now, what is delegating? Everybody needs delegating skills. Everybody. All right. So it's a weakness that is also a strength in a way because delegating is a skills that every organization or every recruiter or every hiring manager would like to have in their team. So if I'm struggling with delegating before, and I was self-aware of that weakness, what have I done to improve that weakness and make it a strength over time? That is what you are projecting to them in your response. So I used to struggle with delegating. I have been working on this by trusting my team members more with tasks and following up rather than doing it by myself. It has made me a stronger collaborator. Now, what have you done here? You've turned that weakness into a strength. That is what they want to hear. They want to hear that you've learned. They want to hear that you've developed, that you identify that weakness, and over time you've developed or you've learned and work on it to be a strength. That is it. So it is not they don't want to expose you. They don't want to make you feel bad or look bad. So you don't have to lie. You don't have to go and say one ridiculous response here. Be straightforward, but make sure the weakness you mention is a weakness that can be a skill on the job. And show them that over time you learn how to you've learned and improve on that weakness. Okay. There are various answers. There are various ways you can answer this question. I just use a very straightforward example here. All right. The second one is, why did you leave your last job? Again, some people lie here. Some people feel like, oh, this question is a trap. Please don't see it like it. See it as an opportunity for you to sell yourself. Why did you leave your last job? Don't forget that people on the panel too, they've worked somewhere else before. All right. Some of them have worked somewhere else before. So it's normal. It's actually LD for you to move job. All right. Unlike many people think, it's LD. If you spend a couple of years in a particular company, it's okay for you to move. People are ambitious. People want to move and keep growing. So give them a very good storytelling response here. All right. Don't lie. And even if you have to lie, make sure your lie is believable. Okay. If you have to package, make sure your packaging is believable. All right. So here, never speak negatively about your previous employer. This is a rule of thumb. It's a rule of thumb. The moment you do it, you're scoring 0 straight up. Why? Because if you can tell me bad thing about your employer, it means that when you leave me tomorrow to another employer, you also tell them how bad I am, even if I'm not bad towards you. So whatever your previous employer has done to you, please don't come to that interview and be saying it. That's not what they want to hear. It sells a bad image about you. All right. What you want to be saying here is on growth, is on opportunity. Focus on growth and opportunity. Tell them you've reached the ceiling of what you could learn in your previous place, and you want a role that is great, that has greater challenge, or that provides you with greater challenge. Tell them, maybe your organization, maybe there was a restructuring that happened, okay, and some roles were, you were affected, not because of performance, but because some of the roles had to, especially if you're in the development sector. If you work in the development sector or NGO sector, many NGO sector and development sector, when Trump came in last year, many people were let go. Not because of performance. They were good performers. They were wonderful people. But because of funding. The development sector and NGO sector depend largely on funds, foreign funds and donor and grants. So many people were affected. So if that was your case, say it in the interview. It's a value. They will understand. They can relate to it because they understand the story. All right? Don't be scared. This is not a trap. It's an opportunity for you to sell yourself. Okay, and make it believable. Then the third one is, tell me about the time you fail. Again, this is not a trap. Failure is not fatal. Everybody has failed before. The people on the panel have failed before. Okay, so please don't think this question are traps for you to fail. No, see them as an opportunity, like I said earlier. Use the STAR method. Choose a real failure. Own it completely and make the lesson the main point. All right. What they want to hear is, what have you done after failing? How have you learned? How have you grown? How have you developed? Okay. Most panel, they love this question because it separates people who are honest and reflective from those who are not. Nobody wants to hire someone who has never failed. I would rather hire somebody who has learned from his failure than somebody who has never failed. I would rather. Because it shows that person has faced tribulation and challenges on the job and has overcome it and is now a better person than someone who is still fresh, who has not even failed or have experienced something fail. Okay? So they hire someone who has failed, who has learned, and who has grown. Like I said earlier, you can use STAR method here, own the failure completely, then make the lesson the longest part of your answer. All right? So I will, and of course, lastly, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Again, this is not a trap. It's an opportunity for you to sell yourself. I see myself having grown significantly in this role, contributing at a more strategic level, ideally within the organization whose mission I believe in, like this one. What this shows to an interviewer is that you're already seeing yourself growing in that organization. So it's not like you're seeing yourself that in next 6 months or 1 year, you are running away. You are showing them that I plan to grow in this organization if the opportunity is there. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with that. So quickly, for your trade fair, I'm sorry, for your job fair, test your one of the things I would advise you before the fair, if you are doing it virtually, test your camera, microphone, and internet before the day. Number 2, look at the camera, not the screen. And 3, use your, most of the things you've learned here today. Make sure they come to play on that day, and they will be to your advantage. Okay, so because of time again, let's quickly move on. I think I have 3 more slides left. Number 9, do you have any question for us? This is a common question that comes up. In fact, 98% of the time in any interview, they will ask you this question at the end of the interview. This is always the last question they ask. Okay, please don't make the fatal mistake of not asking question. All right, don't make that mistake. Always make sure you have the last say. And the last say, the opportunity to have the last say is this question. Now, many people, out of fear, out of nervousness, out of, not wanting to probably say rubbish, they will say, oh, no, I'm okay. I don't have any question. Now, it's fine. It's fine. You can be lucky. Like I said, there are always exceptions to the rule. Okay? So you can be lucky. Maybe your previous response in the interview was very perfect, was very good. So the panel member might not see this one as a problem, even if you don't ask them. Okay? So it's fine. But if you want to actually stand out in any ideal situation, please always have a question to ask here. Do you have any question for us? Always say yes. This is not a formality. It is your final impression, your final marketing skills, marketing tool to market yourself before the end of the interview. All right? If you say no to them, most of the time, it tells them that you've not researched the organization, or you are not genuinely interested. Both are bad signals. Okay? Having good questions prepared show 3 things. 1, you have researched the organization. 2, you are thinking about the future in the role. 3, you are the kind of person who thinks strategically. Okay? So go through 2 or 3 of these questions conversationally, and prepare your answer to them ahead of time, and you'll be good to go. All right? So one of the questions you can ask them is, what does success look like in this role in the first 90 days? What this question does is that it puts them on their toes instantly, especially the hiring manager. Okay, HR can give you an idea, but at the end of the HR will refer you to the hiring manager, and okay, hiring manager, respond to this question. So the hiring manager too will know that, okay, this guy knows what he or she, what he or she wants. This guy is a professional. This guy is already seen himself on the job. So if the hiring manager is having doubt about your candidacy before, that question already put him like, okay, maybe I should think twice about this candidate. All right. So, and another reason why this is important is because sometimes, and I want to tell you today, no company is doing you a favor. No HR manager or HR person is doing you a favor. Both of you are doing each other favors. It's a mutual benefit. You have a skill that the company is looking for. That's why they call you for an interview. Always know that. So you have something to offer. The HR needs you. The company needs you. That's why they invited you for an interview. You too, you need the company. On the other hand, why? You need them for a job, so you can get a paid job, right? So you can grow in your career. So it's a mutual value exchange. Okay, I'm saying this because unfortunately, in a society, you always see it the other way. Okay, I want to hire the value you're bringing to me. You too, you want to work with me, and you want to see the value of the company. So you have every right to question and ask the company a question. Don't be scared, because you want to know the team you are coming into. You want to know the company you are coming into. So please, what does the success look like in this role? It's a very good question that you can ask. Another question is, what are the biggest challenges facing the team right now? All right. This also put them on the toe. It's right, the hiring manager. He will now tell you what challenges they are facing at the moment in the team that your presence can come and solve. He will tell you. It helps you too to prepare for resumption. You get, if you are successful. Another question you can ask is, how would you describe the culture of the organization? So all these questions I highlighted here only show to the panel that you are prepared, that you've researched, and you are ready for the job. Okay? Next slide, please. Tell me about yourself. Okay, this is also another question that comes up in an interview that you want to prepare for. In fact, this is not another question. This is the foundation of your of your question in any interview. This is the first question you will see. Tell me about yourself. Once you miss this question, you most likely miss the rest of the questions. Trust me. So if you're not well prepared for this particular question, you will most likely fail the remaining question. Why? This is the foundation. This is the bedrock. So the moment you get nervous at this stage, for you to regain yourself back in the process of the interview, it will be very hard. Only a few people have been able to do that. So if you don't prepare well for this question, it might have a spillover effect on the other questions they will ask you, and you'll just be answering off point. Why? Because you've messed up at the beginning. So please, this question is always asked, and it's always easy to prepare for. Now, when you are asked this question, what are the things you want to respond to? What are they looking for? They want to know who are you professionally, or who you are professionally. Your current role, what you've studied. Okay? They want to know that. Another thing they want to know is that what have you done before? Your skills. Don't forget I mentioned earlier that in most interview, or in any interview, they are looking for three things. They are looking out for KSA, knowledge, skills, and ability or attitude. Okay? So that question, tell me about yourself, encapsulate those three things. You want to show them your knowledge, you want to show them your skills that you've had over the years that is relevant to the job. All right? So what you have done before, they want to see it, they want to hear it. What you bring to the table, that is the value you are bringing, they want to. Then what you are, or why you are here rather, why are you here? That is your motivation. They want to hear it. So that was why I mentioned for who you are, what you have done, what you bring, why you are here. Once you understand this, you'll be able to package the best story to respond to this question in any interview. All right. So I'm trying to rush it now. But at the same time, you don't want to fall into the trap of spending too much time here on this question, please. Don't spend 10 minutes, don't spend 5 minutes answering this question. Prepare properly, and that's why preparation is very important. There's a way you can answer this question, fulfilling all these four factors I mentioned in just 2 minutes or 3 minutes max. There's a way you can prepare yourself ahead of time to answer it. Okay? And that is why this session is important for you. Divide it into who you are, what you've done, what you bring, why you are here, and you'll be good to go. All right? Practice ahead, please. It's very important. Okay, so let's move to the next slide. Which is okay, so this next slide is just about let us practice right now, the mock that we'll do shortly. So I think we can skip this and move to the final part, which is appreciation. You are more than ready than you think. Please now go and prove it to your interviewers. I wish you all the best, you know, at the job fair, and of course in your future job that you apply for. I hope, you know, I hope I've been able to help and give a little bit of an information that might be relevant to you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. And but because of time, before we go, let's quickly move to the mock part of this interview. This will only take 10 minutes. I'll make sure I keep to time and be very strict with timing. Yeah. So let's start with some volunteers. We need some volunteers for this session. I don't know, maybe Blessing can help me, but we need some volunteers. Now, in this mock, we'll have some people that will be the interview panel, and we have one person, 1 or 2 or 3 people who will volunteer to answer the questions. And those who are on the panel will be the one to, to evaluate and score them.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay, so I would suggest that we have our 2 speakers. They could join the panel while we have the other people in the audience maybe just volunteer to be the person being interviewed, if that's okay.
Yes, it's okay. But I also say, because I want them to also have a feeling. So maybe 2 out of the audience, 2 people from the audience can also join the panel.
Oh, okay. Beautiful.
You can join Madam Bome and Mr. Olushola.
Okay.
So that they can also have a feeling of what it means to be on the panel, because it gives them an idea of of what, when they listen to their colleagues speaking or their, their peers speaking, they can also evaluate on their own and have an
Okay.
idea of what it is. Yeah. So maybe 2 or 3 people can volunteer to join Madam Bumi and Mr. Olushola on the panel. Then we have 1 or 2 other people to volunteer for answering questions.
Okay, nice, nice. So please, if you know you want to join the speakers today as one of our HR, please just signify by raising up your electronic hands so that I'll get your names. We need 2 persons. I can see Dr. Pupola here, so I'm nominating you to be one of the persons. Okay, so yes, please, if you know you want to be on the HR team, we need 2 persons. Please just signify by raising up your hands, and then you would be taken up. Thank you. Please don't be scared. It's just a simulation.
Yes, it is a simulation. Please don't be scared. And if you're nervous, it's perfectly normal. Okay? Whatever nervousness you're feeling right now is what you also feel in an interview. So if I were you, I would want to conquer it or start conquering it now. So please feel free to volunteer. It's an
Okay, so
opportunity for you to conquer that fear.
okay, beautiful. I think I can see on the in the chat. So you can also use the chat if you can't use your electronic hands. I can see in the chat I will volunteer to answer questions. So she wants to volunteer as someone who is being interviewed, Ifoma. Thank you so much. Yes. Now I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Nuahp. You said I'll volunteer to answer also. Beautiful. So we have 2 people that will be interviewed, but we want 2 people also on the HR team. So can we get 2 people that will join the HR team? Okay. I can see someone's hand raised up. Oh, the person has dropped. Okay, we have Goodness. Thank you so much, Goodness, for volunteering to join the HR team. So I think we already have Dr. Pupola. Are you available to join? You can just give us a thumbs up if you're available to join the panel, or if you can unmute your mic, sir. Okay, so we need 1 more person. Who would like to join Goodness on the panel? I used to be a teacher, so I think I'll go and call people's names. Let me go back. We have Mary, we have Adekunle, we have George, Cynthia, Damilola. Let's do this. You never can tell. Oh. We have a renowned HR personnel here on the call. You might just get the job that you're looking for. Your day might not be until on the 26th when you go to the church to meet with them physically. Okay, so I think someone's is already saying they will. Okay, now we have like 2 persons, Damilola and I think I have one in the chat saying he will also. Okay, and
Yeah.
Etima, thank you so much for joining the panel. So, sir, over to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Blessing. Okay, so who's the first person that that will be volunteering to answer a question? The first person, please, you can put on your camera. The reason is because I want you to have the feeling. Okay, I want you to as this take it as a real test. So you have your panel members behind their laptops waiting for you. So put on your camera, project yourself. Let's see you. Then we'll start asking you questions. Okay. So let's start.
Yeah, the first person is Ifoma.
Okay. So Ifoma, please. Avail us your presence.
Our host, please give Ifoma access. Thank you so much. So, Ifoma, you have the access now to unmute yourself and turn on your camera. Hi, Ifoma. Please confirm you can hear me.
Good afternoon. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Ifoma, welcome. How you doing? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm doing great, and you?
Awesome. Yes, I'm very well. Thank you. You're welcome to this interview, Ifoma. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
Okay, so my name is Richard, and I am an HR professional. I'll be facilitating this interview session alongside some of my colleagues who are on the panel members. And you can't see them, but they are listening to you, and they'll be evaluating your responses to all our questions this afternoon. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So do you need a minute to catch your breath, or are you okay? Are you good to go?
I'm good to go. I'm fine. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Ifoma. So let's begin, Ifoma. So tell me about yourself. You know, we would like to know you and what you've done. So tell us about yourself.
Okay. Thank you for the question. My name is Ifoma, like you already know. I am a graduate of Library and Information Science. I am a librarian by profession. I'm a librarian by profession, and I work in the education sector, both in the primary and currently working in the academic sector, that's the higher institution, the university to be precise. I love researching. I love stories, reading stories, and also telling stories. And I love creativity. Thank you.
Okay, Ifoma. Thank you so much. Okay, that was that was nice, Ifoma. Thank you. So the second question I want to ask you is why do you want to work with us specifically in the role of a librarian? Why do you need this job? You know, why do you want to work with us?
Okay, like I said earlier, I've worked in the library field, for a very long time. So I just want to experience something new. I want to experience something new outside the education sector and, transfer my skills to that and also for growth and development.
All right. Thank you for that. And my last question for you is to tell us about the time you work with a difficult person or in a difficult team. How did you manage that situation?
Okay, that's that's a very, I don't know how the right words to use, but working with difficult students or co-colleagues, it's practically something that is unavoided. In my own profession, it's something that is unavoided because you get to work with people from different aspects of life, religion, and family background. Joe, as a fresher, when I graduated newly, it was quite frustrating, But along the line, I had to realize that everyone is not perfect. Everybody have their own peculiarities and their shortcomings. So what I did was to first of all understand the individual, well, my student. I would rather say my student. I had to understand them and then know where they are coming from and knew that everybody learn at their own pace and then develop a skill that work for me and also for my students so that I could carry everyone along and ease my job and enjoy my job while working.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you for being available and volunteering yourself for this interview. Yeah, we appreciate you. And okay, Ifoma, you can put off your video now. There were just 3 questions I wanted to ask you. Yeah. Thank you so much. Okay. So Ifoma has been amazing. Thank you. Before we go to the second person, I would like the panel members to give feedback. The reason is so that we don't mix it up, because sometimes, when you have multiple interviews before you evaluate, there's always the chance of messing it up. So the panel members, anybody please, let's start. What do you think about Ifeoma's response?
Okay.
What feeling did you have? Yeah.
So Goodness, I think Goodness hands is raised, so you can please unmute your mic and give your feedback.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. So I'm Goodness on the panel, and I think Ifeoma spoke very well, saying that she didn't have time to prepare. But something I noted down was that in her introduction, just as we were already told, she wasn't able to mention her key skills and the value she hopes to bring. And although she was asked why she's looking for the opportunity, I think it would have been good if she also mentioned that at the beginning. And then, secondly, for the second question, she didn't give a specific story. I think her situation is different because she said it is a regular thing in her field, but it would have been helpful if she gave a particular story and then she was able to answer using the STAR method. That's my feedback. Thank you.
Yes, are you sure you're not an HR person? Thank you so much, Goodness, for those feedback. Amazing. You raised very, very valid point. Okay, the next person on the panel, who is not Madam Bumi and Mr. Lushala.
Okay. Let's have the next person on the panel. If you're having difficulty unmuting your mic, you can just let me know. It's Sima. Yes, I think your mic is open. Our host, please assist Etima to be able to speak. Yes, you should be able to speak now.
Hello,
Hi,
good
Etima.
afternoon. Hi, good afternoon, everybody.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. One thing I noticed, first of all, I would start with saying that she did well, averagely well. I mean, I'm not going to speak so bad about her, but she did averagely well. But the first thing I noticed about her performance was she started with, like you already know. You mentioned to her before you started asking her questions that there are other members of the panel, so she assumed that we know her, which wasn't right. And then her positioning of her camera was not steady. And then secondly, she moved from professionalism to hobbies. She told us, I love to do this, I love to do that, which did not reflect any of her skills or why she needed the job. Thank you.
Thank you, Etima. Valid point as well. Thank you so much. Blessing, I don't know if we have any other person on the panel, aside from the previous speakers.
No, those are just the two people.
The two people,
Madam,
okay.
yes. I don't know if Madam Bumi can speak because I think she's on transit. And someone is raising up her hand, Damilola.
Okay. Yes, we need their feedback from the audience as well.
Okay, Damilola, please go on.
Right, thank you so much. So for me, generally, I think she did well, being that it was unaware, so she doesn't even know the company she was interviewing for. So it was impromptu. But what I would just note, some of the things I noticed was her confidence. So she wasn't confident enough, and this is something that she has done for years, from what she mentioned. Library is something she has done for years. So she wasn't able to bullet her skills. So documentation of those skills that are relevant or even transferable, even if I'm not hiring you as a librarian, were not bulleted, so I couldn't see a clear roadmap of what she does, or like a value she could add to, to the library she wants to come and work in. So that was what I noticed. And another thing you said, if you're doing a virtual interview, you should look at the camera, not the screen. So her eyes was going like she wasn't really interested in the job. So those are the things I noticed. Thank you.
Thank you, Damilola. Thank you so much. Because of time, we will not be able to get more feedback from the audience. But let me just quickly say this: the whole idea of this is for all of us to learn. Okay, there's nobody's, both the people that are on the panel evaluating and the volunteers, we are all learning. All right. So please, first of all, let's appreciate Ifoma, we appreciate you, because like Damola said, there was no prior information, no prior, you were not aware, so you didn't prepare for this. So we know. We just wanted to give ourselves a practical example of what we might face in an interview session. Okay. So having said that, and having appreciated you, you did very well. You were, at least for you to even come out and volunteer yourself, it takes guts, you know. So thank you. But all the feedback, the panel members, and I'm glad that this feedback are coming from your colleagues, your fellow participants who are on the panel. They too, they can use that to learn as well and see how they are being evaluated in an interview. All right. I'm happy that the feedback you got, or that we got today, are coming from them. And they are all very important feedback to help all of us when we are preparing for interview tomorrow or any other day, to make sure those things, we are prepared for them. All right. When you were answering your questions, like Goodness said earlier, the first question I asked you, tell me about yourself. You were very brief, which is a plus, but you were brief, but you didn't give us what we need or what we wanted. All right. So we wanted to hear about your skills. We wanted to hear about your study, that makes you perfect, that makes you a good hire for this role. You didn't give us all that. All right. We wanted to hear about your professional development. Okay, yes, you're a librarian now, but what have you done before? Just briefly say those things and the skills you've been able to acquire in those places that makes you a perfect fit for the role. You didn't highlight that. So you want to put that at the back of your mind. Okay. The second question we ask you, just like Daniela also said, you didn't highlight or give any bulletproof of yours. What makes you motivated for the role? We ask you, what was your motivation? Okay. These are things you should mention when you're answering that question. All right. And like I said, we all know you're not prepared. You did a wonderful, you tried your best. All right. And I hope we learn one thing or the other from this. Then the last question about how you've been able to solve, um, um, how to be able to handle a difficult person or a difficult team. Always see every question as an opportunity, like I said earlier, to sell yourself. And storytelling is the perfect tool, using the STAR method to sell yourself. Storytelling. So tell me about the time you've worked with a difficult person. You told us about one of your students. I mean, you're giving us a general and vague response about how some of your students can be difficult, but you didn't tell us in particular, specifically, a situation where you've experienced a difficult student. What made that student difficult or that situation difficult? Tell us. Then, what was your task? Then, what was the action you took to solve or to resolve that difficult situation? And what was the result? That is the STAR method. Okay? I know it was difficult for you to quickly cajole that within these few seconds. I understand that. But again, I hope we all learn from it. So STAR will help you respond to that question easily if you prepare for it ahead of time. All right? So thank you so much, Ifoma. You've been an amazing volunteer. I hope we still have enough time. Blessing for one more volunteer. Do we? I think we took too much time the other time.
Yes, I
So,
think. Okay, so let's throw it back to the audience. Can we have one more
okay.
simulation? Just give us a thumbs up if you're ready to take one more. Just give us your thumbs up. Okay, I can see one. I can see another. Thank you so much. So we'll just quickly take one more quickly. So if you know you want to be the person being interviewed, I think we had someone. Let me check quickly.
Yeah.
We had someone. NUAHP. HP. I don't know if that's your name or it's an acronym. Forgive me. Yeah. But you can unmute your mic and turn on your camera. Thank you. Hi, confirm you can hear me.
I can hear you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm not able to turn up my camera. You haven't given me the permission.
Oh,
Okay, our host, please. Okay. You should be able to do that now.
Please confirm if you can see me, please.
Yes.
Okay. Good afternoon.
all right. Good afternoon. Sorry, what's your name again?
Grace Agboli.
Okay, Madam Grace. Good afternoon. How are you doing this afternoon?
Fine, thank you. And you?
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. I'm very well. You're welcome to this interview panel.
Thank you.
We'll be asking you some couple of questions, and evaluating your responses to those questions. Okay. So please feel relaxed. And if you need a minute, let us know. Yeah.
All right.
Are you good to go?
Yes, please.
All right. Thank you. So, Madam Grace, tell us about yourself. We'd like to get to know you.
Okay. Thank you for this opportunity. My name is Grace Agboli, like I earlier said. I'm an administrative professional and also double as a gender desk officer. I have experience in front desk activities, office administration, and record keeping. Also have experiences in attending to correspondences and also stakeholder management and engagement. I currently work, I don't know if I can say that part, but I currently work with Nigerian Union of Allied Health Professionals as an administrative officer stroke gender officer. I handle minutes of meeting, take records, proper reports, writing proposals and preparing reports for stakeholder meetings and other responsibility has been assigned. I'm a graduate of psychology from Femi Awolowo University, and I'm also currently pursuing my master's in international affairs and diplomacy. I'm particularly interested in this role because of the administrative experience it has. I mean, areas it has, which I have the experience to give in view of my administrative experience I've gathered over 5 years. I also previously worked as a office secretary in a school, and also I have a clinical experience in a neuropsychiatric hospital where I was an intern psychologist, and this has given me vast knowledge about how to work with fellow humans and being able to understand their behavior. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Grace. Thank you for that. So we're going to ask you the next question, and that will be on. You mentioned very important stuff when you were responding to the first question. So now we'd like to know, this role you're applying for is an administrative role, and you said you've had administrative experience before. So why should we hire you for this role? What makes you a perfect fit for this role? What stands you out from the others?
Thank you. I think you should hire me because I have, like I mentioned earlier, I'm having over 5 years of experience in administrative activities. Has given me, I think, the necessary prerequisite I need to carry out activities in report writing, minutes taking, attending to front desk activities, and opportunity to interact with people. With my vast years of experience, I'm able to work with so much enthusiasm, professionalism, and being very attentive to details. So I think I can gather all this experience and bring it into the new setting I find myself in.
Thank you, Grace. Tell us about the time, yeah.
Sorry, I can't hear you clearly.
What? Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Am I playing now? Okay. So tell us about a time you had to deliver results under pressure, in your previous role.
Okay. Thank you. There was a time I was made a secretary of a committee in my organization when we're having our national delegate conference, and it was challenging in the sense that the person that was given the role as a chairman wasn't doing much, and I had to take multiple roles, and it was challenging for me. So I took permission from the chairman to delegate duties to other team members, and that made it easy, but it was at first challenging because I had to do work under stress. I mean, do a lot of things at once, which could have been done by the chairman. But after taking proper, after inquiring from her whether I should delegate to other team members, she agreed to it, and it made the work successful and smooth.
Thank you, Grace. Thank you for your time. Really appreciate you for being here today. Yeah, thank you so much.
You.
Yeah, you can go back to the audience now. Okay, panel members, over to you. The two panel members, please give us your feedback.
Yes. So if you're having issues unmuting your mic, you can just raise your electronic hands for the panel members. Okay, so let's start with Etima, and then we'll go to Goodness. Etima, you should be able to unmute.
Yes, I am. Thank you. Hello, everybody. Ms. Grace, your presentation was well structured, in my opinion. I mean, your camera was steady, background was good. You kept now I'm saying you kept looking away while answering the question, which was I don't know, it threw me off a little. And your portfolio was very detailed. And like Ms. Bumi said in the second teaching that we had today, she said less is more. And I felt like you gave us so much, and a lot of information was lost, but some of them gained. And when they asked you the last question, it felt like the confidence you started with threw you off because you were stuttering and you were not sure of yourself. That's my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you, Etima. Thank you so much. Next panel.
Goodness, confirm you can unmute your mic.
Okay, I can now. Thank you.
Okay.
Grace, I think I have quite similar view with my panel member, but something I'm going to say is that just like she said, less is more. So the introduction was a bit too lengthy. I think it sounded like you were giving us back your CV. So I think it's best you just try and make it into short bullet points, just as we have been given the structure. And then the second question, I think maybe it would be better if you restructure the way you answer that, because you were saying more of, okay, you have this number of experience, these years of experience, but that's not what is making you stand out, basically. You have to tell us what is making you stand out among others, not just because you have experience. But I think you also said that, but you should be careful with the way you structure your answers. I think that's those are the feedback I'll give. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Anybody from the audience want to say a word or two as a feedback? Okay. I'm not sure we have.
Okay,
Or just drop a message in.
I do.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much for that. I think my feedback is mostly on that second question that interviewer asked. I think that was your chance to sell yourself when they said, why should it be you? You kind of, I know the previous panelist said something about that, but I just wanted to emphasize it because that question could have changed the game, could have just made everybody say, oh, this is the candidate, and then it will unlock more questions. So when they said, why should it be you? You went back to the same things you said at the first instance about your years of experience and all of that. But even though at the end you now said, oh, I can do this, but you should start by saying, I'm the fit for this job because I am great at multitasking. I can go above and beyond. Just like really sell yourself because there are other people that also have number of years of experience. And then you show that, but you're the person, you're this administrative officer that every boss wants to work with because of how organized you are, how proactive you are, how you're able to handle multiple things. That is you now selling us your strengths. So I think every candidate needs to know what makes them stand out. Either your attention to detail, your analytical approach, your organized way of doing things. You need to have at least 3 strengths that you can always use to sell yourself in any interview and just connect it to that opportunity. I think that was the part that would have been the light bulb to say, oh, maybe this is the person. Then they will now ask you other questions. Then you kept saying, I think I am. If you think so, then maybe we should also maybe not think so. But if you say, I am the best for this job because of this, then it's more convincing. But you kept saying, I think you should consider me because of my experience. So I think that weakened it after the first question. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I think we have one of the toughest HR panel members. Goodness and Etima and Madam Adenika. Yeah, tough HR people. Thank you so much. Thanks for the feedback. Madam Grace, you know, you did very well. Thank you so much as well. Because let's not forget, they didn't have any template. They didn't have any job description. They didn't have any company to research about. They didn't have time to prepare. So it was on the spot analysis for them. And both of them, both Ifoma and Grace, thank you so much. Grace, your responses were, of course, there was an improvement. You gave us good details in the first response. I think you've had some experiences with interviews before, so you're a little bit well prepared. So of course the feedback given by Etima earlier in terms of the too much details and not well structured is valid, but that can be understood within the context of the fact that you're not prepared for the interview. Maybe if you had more time to prepare for the interview, you would have structured it very well. So more kudos to you. And I'm sure with this session we've had today, you've learned 1 or 2 things you can use to get yourself well prepared for future opportunities. So amazing. Thank you. And of course, the second question too, like John said, Adenika said, it was an opportunity, and so you could have also added more point. But again, this is just a learning curve. This is on the spot analysis of your interview skill, and to me, I think you did well within the available information you have. You're able to say a lot of relevant stuff. Yeah. And if you observe, I was using the role, your experience, I was using them to ask you the question. You said you were an administrator, so I use administrator as an experience for you, as a question for you, just like as I use librarian for my earlier on. So thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for this, for participating. And I really hope, and I'm sure both the panel members have learned 1 or 2 things in terms of what the panel you'll be facing, will be expecting from you. And of course, the participants too, the volunteers, the interviewers, the interviewees too. I hope you learned 1 or 2 things as well as to how the panel members will be seeing what you're saying and evaluating your body language and your responses. So Thank you all. Blessing, I think I've come to the end of this, and now I hand over to you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Richard. Please, let's give him our favorite emoji. That was an amazing. You would agree with me. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. We really appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'm very sure we were able to get value from helping us understand how to answer questions, talking about the STAR approach, to talking about how you need to build your confidence, to what recruiters actually look out for, talking about knowledge, skill, your attitude, and your ability. Thank you so much. And I think one key fact that stood out for me was talking about stories. They say stories are what the panel members remember, not your facts. So please ensure to learn to tell better stories so that you would earn your next job. Thank you. Please, let's keep the emojis flying. Let's keep the emojis flying. So now is the session we have all been waiting for, the Q&A. So please, if you know you have questions, please raise up your electronic hand so that we'll have numbers. I don't want when somebody asks question, you will not be inspired by somebody else's question. I know we've spent a lot of time, but we've gotten so much value. So just raise up your electronic hand if you have question. And if you've dropped it in the chat previously, you can maybe repost it so we don't get to miss it. But I'm going back through the chat now to see if there are questions. But please ensure to raise up your electronic hands. Okay, so I can see here in the comments, Emanuela is saying, in my opinion, it's quite unprofessional to roll eyes while answering questions. Also great to maintain eye contact. Thank you so much for that beautiful feedback. Ifoma, your hands are raised. Okay, so please, our host, let's enable Ifoma to be able to ask her question. Thank you so much. Okay, we also have Goodness. We have Goodness. We have Ifoma. So once we take Ifoma, we'll go to Goodness. And confirm you can unmute your mic now.
Okay, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon. If you're speaking, we can't hear you, Ifoma. Oh, I think we lost her there. Let's try again. Please unmute your mic.
Okay, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
Okay, sorry. Okay. I don't know. I had a little troubleshoot with my internet. I was kicked out. Okay, so I'm going to go straight to the question now. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
Okay. Now, the question I want to ask is in regards to we as the participants, how are we going to, because obviously this is a job fair, a lot of organizations and companies will be coming forth. So how are we going to be able to know the types of organizations that are coming so that we will also be able to tailor our CV towards that and prepare ahead of time? And though I was struggling within the life section and work, so I don't know if this was also discussed. And that again is dress code, because like I said earlier, I don't know if this dress code was discussed earlier, because some organizations have their own dress code. And so since this is a platform where so many organizations will be coming together, at least more than one will be coming together, they will also have their own policy. So how are we going to address this, or what kind of dress code are we going to wear that will suit that will tally or align with you know the type of organizations that, because I believe the organizers of this program already know the people that are coming, but we are going to be taken unaware. So how are we going to know the organizations that are coming so we can tailor our CV towards us or prepare ahead of time? Because there could be NGOs, different categories, but I may not have interest in admin. I could have interest in working, doing humanitarian service and all of that. So I need to prepare ahead of time, ahead of the interviews, then tailor my CV, and then what kind of dress code, corporate, smart casuals, and all of that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for that question. It was discussed earlier by Mr. Ulushola, so I will give him the floor to also respond. And if we have any other person, Pastor Adeyinka is here, if she would like to also say something, then the floor is open. Mr. Ulushola, confirm you can unmute your mic. So while we wait for him, Pastor Adeyinka, I don't know if you're in a space where you can speak. Okay.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
I think I'll just say if we can all stay close to the WhatsApp and possibly the email, information will be shared for knowing which employers. I don't have the final answer right now, but we'll brainstorm with the other people to know if we can share the details of the employers ahead of time. In terms of dress code as well. So I think we'll just note those questions. I think they're very valid questions, and then we'll communicate to you as soon as possible. For the dress code, I know that you can't go wrong with just looking corporate. At least nobody should go with slippers and t-shirts and stuff. But I think we'll just have the final answers from all the HR experts that are driving this, and then we'll communicate that formally. Please let's note that so we can get back to them.
Okay, thank you so much, Ma, for that. And like pointed out, so the list of the organizations, if it's something we can share, it will be sent to you via email. And also you should be on the WhatsApp. So if you're not on the WhatsApp, please ensure to join the WhatsApp group. And for the dress code, yes, like mentioned during the last speaker, Mr. Olushola's session, he mentioned it is important to dress corporately. You want to dress to fit your role, right? So you're not supposed to come maybe wearing torn jeans, strip jean, and the rest. And every other information would also be communicated to you via email. Thank you so much, Ma, for that beautiful response. The next person here I can see is Goodness. So I will confirm. Please confirm if you can unmute your mic.
Yes, I can. Thank you. Thank you very much for this wonderful section to all the facilitators. I just have two questions. My first question is for the CV session. So you mentioned that it's best to use achievements in a CV rather than just mentioning your tasks. But you also gave examples using numbers. So I want to ask, is it a way, or if you could give an example of how you can show achievements without using numbers if you are not able to use numbers? Then my second question is, when you talk about LinkedIn, like keeping your LinkedIn up to date, does that necessarily mean, or does it go beyond just putting in your profile and what you have done? Do you also need to be posting on your LinkedIn, or what exactly do you entail when you say you have to keep it up to date? Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for that. So I'm leaving it open to any of our HR professionals that just spoke today. Please, the floor is open. You can respond to the question. Thank you so much. We have Mr. Olushola, we have Ms. Bumi, and Mr. Richard. Mr. Richard, your mic is unmuted, but we can't hear you.
Yes, I can hear you call my name now, but I actually missed the question. Can she repeat the question, please? Or you can help.
Okay, so she talked about LinkedIn. She asked that if we when you talked about LinkedIn having it updated, or when we talk about LinkedIn having it updated, that does she have to post? What does it entail? I think that was a question. I don't know if I missed any other one. Goodness.
Okay, yes, that was the second question. My first question was about CV. So I said the speaker that talked about CV, she mentioned how you need to show achievements on your CV and not just your tasks or what you were asked to do in your experience. So I said she gave an example using numbers, right? So I'm saying, is there a way to show achievements if you cannot exactly attribute numbers to your experience? If you can give an example of that, that's what I asked.
Okay. Thank you, Goodness. Well, let me start with the first question. Achievement. That was a good advice you gave. Because you see many CVs today, it's just function that in the CV. But what will stand your CV out is if you can, instead of responsibilities, put achievement, or you can put it too. There's a way you can structure your CV. You can put it to a responsibility on top, then just a bit of below it, achievement you've achieved in that role. You put it there. It goes a long way to stand you out because it now shows the recruiter what you've done and what you've been able to be able to achieve. Now, can you highlight your achievement without putting figures? Of course, there are many achievements you can highlight without figures. Depending on the achievement you've made based on your role. You see, there are many achievements you can highlight depending on the role you're applying for, depending on your own experience. But then the figure part is also, it helps it. So for example, maybe I was able to cut hiring time from 30 days on, I mean, maybe 1 month or 3 months to within a month, right? Or I was able to hire. I'm trying to conjure to remember some of them now. Depending on it all depends on the role and the achievement you're applying for. But figures are good. It gives an idea to the recruiter that, okay, fine, I want to know more about this person. But if you don't have a figure, there's also a way you can highlight your achievement without putting figures. That will also be interesting to the recruiter. And for your second question, which is the LinkedIn, so I think what you are asking of is the LinkedIn optimization, right? How can you optimize your LinkedIn in a way that will be attractive, if I'm correct, to anybody, I mean, any recruiter looking at it. And I think there's a LinkedIn optimization process, step by step. I think I even have it in my book as well. My author. There's a step-by-step optimization for LinkedIn. But is it okay for you to be posting? I think yes. Posting gives you visibility. Okay. Some of us don't. I mean, depending on the level you are, it all depends on what you're looking for. All right. Posting gives you visibility, and you know how the algorithm of LinkedIn works. Yeah. The more you post, and especially if you're a premium user, if you subscribe to premium option on LinkedIn, because as premium user, you get more visibility, more impression than people who are not subscribing to the premium. So if you're a premium user, of course, it also works in your favor. It gives you more. But then post, what are you going to be posting? Is it about your experiences? Is it about your achievement or the activities you're doing? So that in such a way that any recruiter will come across your profile, we have an idea of what you've been doing and if you're relevant to what you're doing. Most people that post on LinkedIn, they post for visibility and it works for them. Some of us who don't post too, it works for us. We just don't post. We don't like maybe too much attention. There are people that don't post much. We just comment. So it all depends on what you're looking for. And I hope in a little way I've been able to respond to your question, Goodness.
Thank you so much, sir. Please just give us a thumbs up if we've responded to your question. And I think lastly we have Ifoma. Hi, Ifoma. I think is this the former hand or is this a new hand? Okay. If you're speaking, we can't hear you. Okay, we also have Damilola. I'm wondering if it's the previous hand that was raised or you need more clarification. Damilola, you can unmute.
Okay, good afternoon. Please, Dami, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, thank you so much again. So my question is actually on salary negotiation. So there are some jobs where you see there are list of requirements and everything, but then there are no salary negotiation. And I feel like sometimes this can cut the chase of what's your expectation. So my question now is how, because it's part of the interview. I think that was something that wasn't mentioned in any of the session. So for jobs that salary was mentioned, salary was quoted, and for jobs that salary was not quoted, how do you answer that question when asked? Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. So we're throwing that back to our HR professionals. Does anyone want to go? Okay, so I think we have Mr. Richard. Over to you again. Thank you, sir.
Oh, my home mute. Let me see. Sorry, 1 second.
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. All right. Salary. Wow, one of the most constant questions you get to you get to be asked in any job fair session. So this is a very a tricky one, but then I would say it can also be subjective. All right. So because I need to say that it depends on the situation. However, are you supposed to ask about salary in a situation where they didn't indicate the salary in the advert? There's nothing wrong in asking. Okay. If you didn't, but you don't want to make that the focus. So it doesn't turn off your recruiter. It doesn't turn off the panel member if you make it the focus. All right. The focus should be on the job. And you know why? Why this is important is because if you focus on the job, on the interview itself, on the questions they are being asked, and show your value, and they end up picking you or they end up selecting you for the role, they will send you an offer. Okay, they will send you an offer eventually. And at that point, you can engage them on what you can take or what you cannot take. You understand what I'm saying? But if you spend too much focus, and I'm saying this because it's very easy to lose focus at that point in an interview when you're asking about salary. Why? Because most times the panel members might be a bit reserved or secretive, depending on their budget, depending on their company policy, depending on the people on the panel members. They might not be, free to give you all the figures that you want, and that might provoke you to keep asking and trying to get clarity. And that way, it might provoke them, or it might give them a wrong image about you. It might be a turn off for them. That it's like this person's focus is much. Of course, we all want money. I mean, why are we working? Why are we applying for jobs? It's for money, right? But you don't want to give that impression that it's all about giving money. That's the whole idea of what I'm saying. So it's okay to ask. If you can ask and keep it at a minimal, you ask the question. It's a valid question. Like when I was going through the job description, I didn't see much. There was no information much about the remuneration. I would like to know if such information can be given right now. That's a good question. So the panel members will let you know. Actually, maybe for whatever reasons they have, they can tell you no, they are not giving. They can tell you, okay, fine. If it's an organization that don't have a problem with it, they can give it to you. If it's a panel member that the figure is not a big deal, they can. I'm saying this because it depending on the sector, depending on the company, they might have different policy to unveil that information. So you don't want to push and keep pushing further so you don't lose focus, because then it gives them the impression that this girl or this guy is all about the money. And it might be a turn off for them. So ask a question like that. Once they respond to whether they give you a yes or no answer, fine, just take it. Why? Because eventually they will send you an offer if you make it. And when they send you an offer, at that point, you have the right to engage them on what you can take and what you cannot take. You get what I'm saying? So if the offer is low or too low for you to take, you respond to them professionally. And they will respond, they will adjust the salary or let you know what they can adjust or not. Okay, so don't pay too much attention on the salary question when you're asking, but you are okay to ask. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. And I think someone is mentioning that I think the question is also about how to answer the question if you are asked about your expectations. So let's say, for instance,
The other way around. Okay.
yes,
Okay.
like they didn't put the
Okay.
offer and now they are asking you how do you research to know and how do you answer it?
All right. So I will answer this in two ways. Again, please, these responses are subjective. Why? Because different interview panel, different companies, different expectations. But I'll give you the standard response you can give to keep you safe. So if it's a normal operational position where, when I mean operational position, administrative roles, it's not an executive role, it's not a C executive role, it's not a leadership role or a managerial role, fine. Give the standard response. If they ask you how much are you expecting or what's your figure and everything, you want to be careful because if you quote a particular figure, it might work in your favor and it might not work in your favor. Why? It might work in your favor in the sense that maybe the figure you quoted is within their salary range, is within their budget. So fine, it's okay. But it might not work in your favor because the figure you quote might be above their budget. And they might be looking at themselves like, can we afford this person? Or maybe this person is ambitious, salary-wise for us. And if they're considering you before, they might think twice. So in order not to put yourself in that situation, you can give this response. Like, well, you are aware, you know that this role has been there before, and there's a standard, the organization has a standard salary that they prepare for the role. You are open to seeing the offer presented to you and engaging further on that once that is made. What you are doing automatically is you are responding to this question and putting it back to them. But if they now insist that they want a figure, because I've been to an interview too before where no matter how I try to maneuver my way, they were insisting that they needed a figure. So maybe that was also part of their policy. They want a figure. And I gave them a range. And that's what I would advise. You can give a range. So if you have a figure in mind before, maybe it's a front desk officer role or a secretarial role or administrative officer role. In the market today, an admin officer, if it's a private organization, maybe you have an idea of what they are earning. Because you have to also look at the company you're applying to. You have to be sure that they can pay what you are asking for. Don't go to a pure water company that you want to be a secretary and you are quoting a salary of oil company. They will just run away. They will not even consider you. So you have to also look at the suitability, the payability of the company you are applying to. So you look at the role. If it's an admin role, just give them a range. Now I'm looking at a figure between 200K to 400K because you know that eventually it will fall in between that. So when they come with their offer to you, you can negotiate either higher or whatever it is you wish to do. So it's always safe to give that response. Give a range if they insist on a figure. Don't give them a specific figure. You don't want to quote yourself low, or you don't want to quote yourself too high. You get, so give a range. If it's a managerial role, of course, at that level, you know how much you're currently earning as a manager in your current organization. So of course, you want an increase. So let them know that, okay, I'm looking at, currently I'm within this range, this bracket range, but I'm looking at a 50% salary increase from that range. So from that figure, they already have an idea. Okay. So my current salary as a manager is 20 million. I'm sorry, nobody pays 20 million. Maybe 2 million, right? And you told them that that's my range. So my current range is between 2 million to 3 million. So what I'm looking at a 50% or 20% increase in that. That gives them an idea. So my response is in two. One, give them the standard response of you are sure the organization has the salary they paid for that role before and a budget for the role. You are open to seeing that and engaging them on it. But if they insist that you give them a specific figure to play safe, give them a range of your expectation. Okay, from this range to this range, and that is safe. You can engage them further around when they send you an offer letter. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. I am very sure you've been able to answer that. Just give me a thumbs up if you're okay with the response. Thank you. And lastly, before we close, there is a question in the comments. It said, as an entry level candidate, I is someone without experience in her field of study. What do I do in my experience slot? How do I tailor my CV to get a job? Thank you.
Blessing, is that Do you want me to answer, or is that for other panel members?
Yes, you can go ahead. I think other panel members are having, I don't know, probably network issues. So please just help us.
Okay. Okay. Ooh, entry level. Yeah. Okay. I understand the challenge here. As an entry level candidate who has zero to little experience, it's always challenging. But then I would say you have to cut your, how do they cut, how do they give that cut? You have to be able to, you have to be wise, right? So as an entry level, of course, there are some jobs you are not expected to apply for. Some experience role, because unfortunately in our labor market, they value experience, right? You will see there, you must have 2-3 years of experience, or 5 years of experience, or 10 years of experience. So that might limit the kind of jobs you can apply for, since you have zero to no experience before. So the kind of jobs you want to be focusing on are maybe graduate training jobs. Many companies offer graduate training jobs. Many private companies, Procter and Gamble, Nestle, Coca-Cola, yeah, many different across different sectors. Even in the development and NGO sector where I work, I operate in, we also have some entry level positions, either for NYC, I mean interns, we call them interns. So mostly for NYC graduates, or for people that just come in as an intern with zero to no experience. So this kind of opportunity you want to be looking at to build. The idea is for you to build your portfolio, to build your profile. And I'll give you an example. At the early phase of my career in Lagos, just like a job fair, and I hope not, some of you will not take this job fair as you not take it lightly. You take it as serious as you can. I was in a job fair like this, and I was very, I mean, of course, I just finished my school then and everything, and there was nobody to call up for help. I went for a job fair like this, and that was where I met a recruiter there. My CV was as virgin, it was like a virgin CV. There was the only experience I had there, and that's what I would advise you to, was I was wise enough to put my NYC experience as a job experience. Please, your NYC experience is an experience. Don't underrate it. It shows that you've worked, whether you were a teacher, whether you were whatever it is you've done in your NYC, indicate it there and just put in bracket NYC. It shows that you've passed through, you spent a year there, at least 9 months on that job. So it shows that you've had some okay. Apologies. I have I have someone in my area who is training himself. But I hope you can hear me though. So the NYC experience is a valid experience. Please indicate it on your CV. All right. It shows that you've passed through some month of experience. It's relevant. That you can build on that. Okay. So indicated there. I went for that section and that was everything on my CV. And the recruiter looked at me, okay, fine. And maybe I gave him a good impression. He reached out to me later on for a job. Now, this job was a job I would ordinarily, it's not my dream job. It was in a fashion store. Okay. That was where I actually started. A fashion store, new fashion store, luxury fashion store, and they wanted customer service person and everything. And reached out to me if if it's something I would like to do. And I took the job. Why? Not because it was my dream job. It was never the money was not even a dream money. How much was it there? It was but I took it because I needed to build my profile. I needed an experience in addition to my NYC experience. From there, I keep launching and launching. And that was what happened. I took up the role. Within 3 months, I left the role. By other jobs that I applied for after then, I got called up for. And I moved there too. And I keep building. So my point is, it's not the end of the world as an entry level. Apply for jobs within the range that you can apply for. Graduate training jobs, entry level jobs like customer service, front desk. They don't really require too much experience. Okay, leverage on your NYC experience. If you've done your NYC, please indicate it there. If you've not done your NYC, you helped your mom. Maybe you were working with your mom in your mom's company or your mom's business or dad's business. Indicate it there. The most important thing is the transferable skills you've learned in those jobs. All right, transferable skills you've learned in those jobs. Put it there. You will be amazed how it will impact the selection of the recruiter, because it's an entry level. So they're not looking for too much experience. They're not looking for somebody who has achieved so much. Okay, they just want to hear the basic. They want to see the basic things on your CV, and those things you've done in the past will reflect there. If you've been a leader in your school in any position, indicate it there. They'll be handy. If you're a SUG president or faculty, whatever, or you've got indicated. Those are things that have added skills, have added value to you over time before you finish your school. So they will play a role. All right. Aside from my NYC skill that I indicated on my CV at my early days, I mean, my mom used to sell grocery. We had a grocery store, and I used to help her with the grocery. I indicated it there. I put it there. But what I did was I packaged it very well, and that's something you can do. So that's not that no experience is invalid. I was in that store and I managed that store for like 4 years as a son, and I indicated it there. I just put a very good name on the company name, and I indicated it there, and it worked out. So please, you've had experiences in the past. Yes, you are a graduate. You don't have much experience in the corporate world, but the little experiences you've had, make them reflective on your CV. Then apply for roles within that experience range. Okay, and the sky is your limit. It's a good place to start. Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you so much, sir, for that. Please let's use our favorite emoji to appreciate him. When you're talking about just putting yourself there, no matter what you've done, it made me remember the first teaching job I ever got. And what I did was just talk about how I used to teach my younger ones as the first child. And that was it. And I got the job. So please, let's not underrate any kind of experience we've had. We can add that to our CV. Just package it very well. Okay, thank you. So I think they don't want you to go. I don't know if you can still take one more, or we should push it to the WhatsApp, because I can still see one more question. I don't know if you can still take that maybe in the next 1 minute. Thank you so much. Mr. Richard, please, I don't know if you'll be able to take one more, or we should send it via chat.
No question, yeah, one more is fine, and we can call it a day. I actually have other, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah. So we'll just take this last one. And any other question, please ensure to come for the D-Day event. It's right on your screen. If you have not registered, please do well to register. I've also dropped the link in the chat box. So he said, sir, are there any tips for applying for international NGO jobs and volunteering roles?
Wow, this is a full day question you ask. Actually, it's a full day question. Are there any tips? If I start to mention tips right now, we will not leave here. Trust me. But yes, there are tips. There are tips. There are transferable skills for somebody who is working in the private sector and who wants to work in the NGO space. There are transferable skills, but there are other things too you need to know that set you apart. If you're applying for an NGO job, where do I start from? So I author a book. Yeah, I don't know if in case you have time later on, you can reference the book later on and go online and look at it on the Seller platform. It will help you a lot. There's almost all the information based on this question you asked now. All the information you need in that book. It's an ebook online on Seller, and that will be able to answer, because to be honest, it's a lot. But the few I can mention, let me just mention one or two. Is the way you prepare your CV for an NGO development sector interview. It might be slightly different from how you prepare it for a private sector job. Okay, why? Because most international NGOs and development sectors interviews are competency based. So the kind of question they ask you are competency based questions. All right, questions that is about storytelling. It's about tell us about the time. This kind of questions, right? They're kind of different from the private sector kind of question we ask you, even though there are similarities. So the expectations are different in terms of what they're looking at. Another thing is most international NGOs and development agencies, they use ATS. There are websites where you apply for, especially the UN, for example. If you apply for any UN role, you have to do it on the website, right? And you have to, in fact, it's cumbersome from one phase to the other. Many people even drop off and get discouraged along the way. It's all part of the screening process, anyways. So you have to also know that, unlike some private companies where they just give you an email that you can forward your CV to, you understand. In most of these international NGOs, either ICRC, UN agencies, and the rest, they have an applicant tracking system, ATS website, where you have to go through it and submit your CV. And the kind of CV, the way you structure the CV there is different from how you structure it in the private sector. Otherwise, the ATS will not pick your application. So there are there are different requirements and tips. But honestly, it's too much. I cannot give you the response totally here. But I would say if you have anybody, any HR person that you know who works in the international space, they will be able to. They can help you. Can consult them. They will give you much more information than I can give you here. Or also, if you can reach out, if you can go online and check out the book as well, you get more information on it, because the book contains on how you can optimize your LinkedIn, how you can structure your CV for international organizational jobs, and how you can get prepared for interviews, and many more in that book. So, but yes, please. There are tips that you can benefit from. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for that beautiful response. So we have the link to download and buy the book in the chat. It has also been posted on the WhatsApp group. So please do well to buy the book, do well to read it, and do well to practice what is in it so you can get your results. Thank you so much. We've posted it on the community. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We want to appreciate each and every one of you for joining today's session. If you were not here, this wouldn't have been a success. So thank you so much. And thank you to all our speakers and to the organizers of this beautiful event. And this is just, like they say, the appetizer. We're going to be having the D-Day event coming up on the 26th of August, 9 a.m. Please, no African time. So go and start ironing your dress. We already said it, that we want that you look corporate, look prepared for the job, look like somebody that you're going to start the job on that day. So dress that way, dress prepared, come confident, come with all your materials that you'll be needing. I think the first speaker did justice to that. And you also get an email that speaks to that, talking about your CV, talking about having data. In case someone is telling you, send me an email with your CV, you will not be saying, please hotspot me, right? So you need to be prepared. You need to be prepared like the scouts. So please come prepared, ensure you register. And if you have someone who probably would need to be there, do well to share this. Don't hoard information. So you have somebody who is looking for a job, please share. You have somebody who wants to change. Let's say, oh, you're working, but you need better salary, you need a better environment. Please do well to share. Or also let's say you have a company who wants to recruit. We would love to hear from you. Please, thank you so much. So please do well to share that. And before we close, we'd like to have our closing prayer. Remember, we started with our opening prayer. I will also close with our closing prayer. So please, wherever you are, just close your eyes and just appreciate God. Thank Him for allowing us to have this beautiful session. Thank Him for all what you've learned. Thank Him that because you know that all what you've learned, you will practice and you would get results. Thank Him because you've already gotten results. In fact, just thank Him for that job. Thank Him for that job that you want. Just imagine yourself already working there and just say, Daddy, thank you. Thank you because I have gotten this job. And remember that with our God, all things are possible. Thank you so much. And do have a beautiful rest of the day. We look forward to continuously engaging with you in the chats and also seeing you on that due day. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a beautiful day. God bless you.